Welcome to my
We are back. We are here with our Horror Saturday. Guys, y'all know I can't commit to nothing, but I said we was going to be here every single week, and I did it. I'm here. We are on our fourth Killer Con, and if you've been here from the beginning, put some knives in the chat. If you've been here since day one, let us know in the chat. We are here to talk about the movie that changed my young life, Demon Knight. Top 5 horror movie of all time. I don't care. Look, it is what it is. Now, y'all know I work hard to bring you this content, so don't just roll up for a good time and not support. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the video. And if you are inclined, send a super chat, support in whatever way you can. It is all appreciated. And of course, working full time and doing YouTube, I be looking as dead as the demons you just saw in the intro. So if anyone is interested, I need someone to send me topics and corresponding timestamps for our KillerCon episodes, because y'all know folks love to be requesting ish. Okay, about time you talk about this movie. When you gonna talk about that movie? Someone said that since we cover so many topics in KillerCon, they would like for me to add timestamps with the corresponding topics. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't feel like doing it. Okay, but if somebody wants to help me out, let me know. It's taking a lot out of me to do this series every week. Ask Tyra, because I was stressing her out all week. Like, Lord, what is the topic gonna be? What the questions gonna be? I got to get the slides together. So I ain't really up for doing no extra work, but if somebody, is so inclined, let me know. But let's get right on and look at some comments, and then we are going to bring in our panel. My sweet perspective. Hey y'all, I'm here for the final girls. Yes, thank you so much, my sweet perspective. I'm so proud of you, sis. Anyone watching us on Tara's channel, she's running late. Anyone watching us on K Blah's channel, Fifth Wall, thank you so much, whatever you are watching on. Hey, Aisha has been here since day one. Baby, how you say Darfalina? Did I mess that up or did I say that right? Been here since day one. Thank you so much. Hey, Sierra Brown. Now let's bring in a friend of the channel, the one who, she blind like me. We're gonna be in here with our glasses trying to see and talking that horror. Kay from Fifth Wall Horror and Hooch Podcast. Hey, Kay Blah.
Hey, and not you wanting to put in the timestamps.
No, I didn't want to do it, but the people always requesting ish, making demands. Somebody was like, they need the timestamps and the topics, and I'm not finna do it. But if somebody want to help me out, then I will add it. Okay. Then we have another friend to the channel. You have seen him on here. Anytime I need a male perspective, I'm like, yo, AJ.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, yeah. Hey, you threw out a lifeline. We need a guy on here. I'm here. I'm back again. Thanks for inviting me again. Excited to talk Final Girls and Demon Knight.
Yes. We love having AJ on. And then a first-time guest to the channel from Donna the Dead podcast. We have Miss Donna. Hey, Donna.
Hey, thank you so much for inviting me to this. I'm really, really excited to talk about Demon Knight because Geraldine is one of my top favorite final girls. So thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. The best final girl that seems to never get mentioned. So let's just get right into it. Our whole episode will be around Demon Knight. We will be having the full Demon Knight conversation later, but we will get into some things related to Demon Knight. And one of my favorite things about Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight is Billy Zane's performance as the Collector. Just so unhinged as a villain. And I personally really love like a really unhinged, like Billy Loomis and Stu Macher or Robert De Niro from Cape Fear type of villain. Brenda from Urban Legend loved her. The mommy and daddy, brother and sister from People Under the Stairs. AJ, who are some of your favorite unhinged horror villains?
Yeah, you named one of them. The mommy and daddy from People Under the Stairs. Them folks was super crazy. I was also gonna throw in Jack from The Shining. His descent into madness was a crazy experience in The Shining. But those are two I would throw out there.
What about you, Donna?
So, I mean, I have a few. If you've ever seen this movie called The Loved Ones, there's a character named Lola. She is off the wall. It's crazy. Like, I love her so much because she has a crush and she just is so obsessed with this person. Somebody be obsessed with me, but not like that.
Yeah, The Loved Ones is one of my favorite movies that I feel like doesn't get enough attention. What about you, Kay?
Is this strictly movies or can we do horror shows?
You can do TV shows if they're a horror villain.
I got a couple, and because I went straight because I knew you guys were gonna name some from the movies. I said let me find some from some TV shows. So I don't know if you all ever seen Bates Motel, but by the end of the series, Norman Bates completely unhinged, and he didn't even know how unhinged he was at that part. Like he was literally walking around dressed as his mom, wig, dress, everything. He literally just shed his whole personality. Mm-hmm. It was completely unhinged. I'm gonna have to go over to, of course, The Walking Dead. The most unhinged would probably be the Terminus people, the cannibal people, because I did not expect that. at all. That episode where they had Bob's leg in the fire pit, I wasn't ready. Completely not ready for that. Unhinged. The movie Unhinged. We need to talk about that from Unhinged. Was very unhinged because how angry can you be to just really be having that much road rage?
That road
I
rage
really
is on
want to
a
know
different level.
exactly like what's wrong with you? What happened in your day? Do you need to talk to somebody? Because that was just above and beyond road rage.
You know what? I always think about Bob yelling, "Tainted meat! Tainted meat!"
I'm telling you, I did not expect those people to be. I did not expect them to be actually eating his leg like that. We don't talk enough about how unhinged that moment was.
Yeah, the Terminus season, that was real crazy. Those people
It was
were
rough.
yeah. Now we are talking about our Black final girls, our Geraldines that we have, and who do we think is the Black final girl who had the best survival strategy? I'm gonna go with Abra from Doctor Sleep. Like the way she set up to like get information and outsmart and go after the people that mess with the little baseball boy. For her to be such a little girl and just be like, look, we gotta go get him. She wasn't even scared. She had the Shining, helping her out with her little magic. Kay, who do you think was the Black final girl with the best survival strategy?
Let me see. Not sure the best, but there's some that we don't all that we kind of miss sometimes. And I know because they're like newer movies, but we should definitely be talking the girl from Escape Room. Because I didn't expect her to live as long. I didn't expect her to make it till the end. Because she literally seemed like the weakest. She wasn't that strong. She just, she wasn't that outspoken. But she somehow made it to the end and made it to the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to mention her in these conversations. And I always like to point out the girl with all the gifts, because at the beginning of the movie, she was one of them little, infected zombie students. And by the end of the movie, she was just like the beginning of the revolution for zombies. Like, I'm going to lead the pack here. And I don't know why she's not talked about in the manner at which she should be. Let's see a newer movie, The Invitation. I actually like that she was survivor, because the whole time I was just like, she ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna make it. She is not gonna make it. This movie is gonna be really quick. They're gonna cut to a whole nother storyline. But I like how she not only survived, but she kind of exacted revenge on them. So I like to mention those because they're like lesser known final girls, but I still count them as final girls.
I definitely like Zoe from Escape Room. 100%. And she was someone else who like used her brain and like outsmarted the people she was going against. What about you, Donna?
So I agree with what both of you said, and it's interesting because Abra and the girl with all the gifts in the books, they were white girls. So the fact that they made them girls of color was really interesting, and it made it a lot better for me. We have to talk about Vicaria in The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Another person who used her intelligence to survive what she was going through. So she is by far one of my favorite newer final girls.
What about you, AJ?
Yeah, I got a couple that I wanted to mention. I wanted to mention Kiki Palmer's character in Nope. That was a super dope character who, ended up, getting the money shot in the end. And I just like the whole journey of her character in that movie. I wanted to mention Sanaa Lathan in Alien vs. Predator. I love that movie. It's more of like an action horror movie, but I still think it's dope. She teamed up with the Predator, to make it out of that one, and that was just the dope. How that all played out was dope. And then the last one I wanted to mention was I think her name is Kiersey Clemens in the Sweetheart movie, that creature feature.
Yes.
She was like, that's if you talking about survival strategy, she was doing it, you know what I'm saying? And then she was whooping that creature's ass in the end. But those are the 3 I would throw out there for Black Final Girls.
Tyra, $5 late fee.
I don't got it. I'm tired right now. Let me slide. You know, I'll get it to you next week. Not right now. Hello, panel. Hello, chat. How is everybody doing?
What's up? What's up?
Thank you for joining us, Tyra.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. What's up?
Do you want to jump in and tell us your Black Final Girls with the best survival strategy?
Oh, I don't know what was said beyond what AJ said, but I'm gonna go with Red and us, because how was y'all gonna get me if y'all didn't know that was me in the first place? Like, I did a whole swap out. That was the smartest strategy I felt like anybody could have done, like, for however long. When she snatched her up, I think Red was about, they swapped out. She was like 6, 7, 8 years old. All the time she had been surviving and no one knew, all the way down to the end. That was the best strategy, because how was y'all gonna get me if you didn't know I wasn't me in the first place?
Now, see, I get into this with people a lot, because is Red really a final girl? Because she's the villain.
She's still the final girl. But she's still. We didn't know. I mean, okay, we knew, because I know a lot of us, especially horror people, we knew what was what until before we got the twist in the end. But I still consider her a black. Look at here, we don't got much. You ain't taking Lupita, okay? She is very much so.
Yeah, we're gonna let Lupita stay in there. Even though I don't like her very much after the new Quiet Place, but let's talk about the Black characters who should have lived. One reason why Demon Knight really changed my life as a kid is, first of all, it was the first time I ever saw a Black final girl when I was a kid. That was my first time seeing the Black final girl. But I also loved it because, baby, the white folks died off first, okay? We didn't have to go through the Negroes dying first. But one character that I always think of that I'm like, we got a lot, but the one that is always at the top of my mind that is a Black character who should have lived is Keith David in They Live. That pissed me off so bad because I knew not to trust that lady. Like, I knew it off rip. Oh, that pissed me off so bad. And the Black girl with the glasses in Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it was the Dream Master one. Why the hell Freddy killed that girl? Like, that ain't never make any sense to me in the slightest. AJ, who are some Black horror characters you think should have lived?
If we're talking super recent, I don't know if y'all seen Maxine or not, but there's a Black character in there that I think should have lived. I won't dive into it too much because I don't want to get into spoilers, because I know it's kind of new. But there's one in Maxine, the Evelyn and the first Annabelle, Alfred Woodard's character sacrificing herself for those white people.
Oh, that pissed me off.
Yeah. And then what's his name? Officer Rigg in Saw 4. Because I feel like he kind of got done unfair, because the dude was just trying to be a good police officer, and then he kind of got penalized by Jigsaw for saying you trying to be too good on your job. That's just how I took it. So I think like he kind of got done dirty with his test. That's 3 Black characters for me.
And that made me, this is why I'm like, Jigsaw be pissing me off, because he will pick you because of the dumbest stuff. Like, because I want to save folks. Like,
Yep.
I gotta be involved in this.
He said you're trying too hard to save people.
Some Black characters you think should have lived.
Oh man, Kincaid. Like, first of all, we let Kincaid live in the Dream Warriors, and then we instantly took him out along with everybody else that we love to make room for the new characters that nobody cared about. Freaking Charles S. Dutton in every horror movie he was in. When I tell you he was being sacrificial and everybody just go, I got it. Charles S. Dutton good for yelling and something. But I was about to write Charles S. Dutton down in my notes for like Mimic. And then I was like, well, he did the same thing in Alien 3. And then most recently, because I think all of us horror lovers, we be on Tubi real hard. I just recently watched Legion on Tubi, and he did the same thing. I was like, Charles, Charles, please, let him make it. But yeah, anybody who was sacrificial, I'm sure we'll get into it with even something like Demon Knight. We got CCH Pounder stepping in front of him, like, yo, go on, I'm gonna take the brunt. Like, stop throwing y'all soft, just being so sacrificial. Freaking Kelly Rowland in Freddy versus Jason, like she was just yelling, just like, come get me. Don't get the whites. Come get me. I'll sacrifice myself for that. Anybody who did that, everybody, they deserve to go on. But yeah, that's just a few for me.
The way Kelly Rowland really rolled up in there and said, nah, Freddie, forget the white girl with the big breasts. Come over here to me. Like the way he wasn't paying no attention to her. That, oh my God. And yeah, me
in my book, you deserve to die just off that alone.
Yeah. Me and Kay did a live on the horror tropes, and we was talking about the sacrificial Negro. I was like, you know what? That is all Charles S. Dutton do.
Girl.
And I love Legion. I saw Legion in theaters when it came out, and everybody talked crap about that movie, but I like that movie. Donna, who are some Black horror characters you think should have lived?
Probably, I'm going to agree with AJ. The Alfred Woodard character, I feel like you didn't live this long just for this purpose. Your life had no meaning until this point. I really feel like she should have lived.
Yeah, I hate anytime some Black character come out of nowhere just to die. Like Alfred Woodard, first of all, it didn't even make sense. Her popping up, and what did she do? Did she dive out the window or something? If I remember correctly.
Yes, some foolishness.
Pretty girl Danny Brandy from I Still Know What You Did. She wasn't going down like a pump, bobbing and weaving and not carrying a bag. All I remember was then Brandy dive through a window or something. Like I remember her going through glass, child. That's what really pops in my head with Brandy. Baby went through some glass and she lived. But when we talk about Demon Knight, I feel like the way I would have pegged Demon Knight to go is Cordelia would have had some kind of redemption arc, and she would have became the final girl, and my girl Geraldine would have died. You know, that's how they would have did us. But when we talk about final girls, you know, we got the ones who should have been final girls. And the person that I always be thinking of, which I don't know, the movie kind of ends in an ambiguous way, but I feel like she got. What was the white lady at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers when Donald Sutherland come up opening his mouth and he done changed? She was smart. She was smart. When they saw, what did they see? A little dog with a weird head and they yelled or whatever. Baby should have lived, okay? And the tough chick in Starship Troopers, I don't know why they wanted the pretty girl to live to the end, but that tough chick is the one that should have survived. Tyra, who are some girls who should have been final girls?
Ouch. And you know I'm always going to go for Helen, Miss Sarah Michelle Gellar. And I Know What You Did Last Summer. She should have lived. They could have took what are you waiting for? They could have took Jennifer. We never liked Jennifer. We never wanted Jennifer to live. We never wanted her. They could have took her. Which is probably divisive. Juno, the cheating bestie in the Descent, the Descent. I loved her character. I thought she was such like a strong final girl, the way she was fighting. You know, we did kill a little girl on accident and we did sleep with our friend husband, but that's neither here nor there when we talking about who's like a really great final girl. I loved her. I wanted her to make it out to the end, get a little messy. And I always liked, I think it's Tatum in Scream over, which is, you know, probably something that's problematic too, over Neve Campbell. I liked her character more than Neve Campbell, so I would have loved to see her go on and be a final girl, but, you know, that didn't happen. But that's it.
Yeah, what would Scream universe look like if it was Tatum and Gale instead of Neve that survived?
Would have been fun. Popping.
AJ.
Y'all had brought her up earlier, and I was gonna mention Kelly Rowland's character in Freddy vs. Jason, because she just got done so dirty, and I feel like she could have definitely been the final girl in that film, especially because like she was, you know, she was actually putting in work. Like that one part when she was just whooping on Jason when they was in that cabin shed thing or whatever. But I felt like she definitely had the potential to be the final girl, and they just did her so dirty with that scene with Freddie and Jason coming up behind her.
I don't know why Kelly didn't pull the Destiny Child star power, because I feel like that's why we got our like rappers turn actors that was surviving horror. Because Busta Rhymes, I feel like he was a star. LL Cool J, I'm like, y'all not finna kill me off, okay? I'm motherfucking LL Cool J, okay? So I'm like, Kelly, why didn't you use the Destiny Child star power to survive the horror movie? Donna, who are some characters that should have been final girls?
Yeah, I agree about Tatum. Tatum is one, she at least fought back. You know, she was at least trying to, she did the stupid thing by going through the little doggy door or whatever. But up until that point, she was throwing beer bottles and she had all the quips. And, you know, she really should have been one that lived, I think.
Absolutely. Kay?
Okay, hold on my list. Because I didn't get my other question, the back one, the other people that should have lasted to the end. Y'all didn't mention them. Old boy from Night of the Living Dead. Why did they have to take him out at the end? Why? After he was the leader of the whole movie, the survivor, he helping everybody else, the strongest character, and he got taken out by racism. I think Mike Epps should have lived in Resident Evil 2. 3. He survived Resident Evil 2 like Kincaid did, and then they killed him off in the sequel of 3, which leads me to characters who should have been final girls, because in Resident Evil 3, he bit Ashanti's character. Like, why the black dude had to bite the black woman? Why they couldn't both live? That got me real upset, because why y'all do that like that? And Megan Good, she hasn't survived a horror movie yet, I don't think. She died in one missed call at the beach. She was the first person to die in that one. And then what was it? Saw. She didn't make it there either. I was rooting for her.
You know what? Resident Evil franchise kind of remind me of The Walking Dead, where like they got to kill off a black person in order to bring in another black person.
What was the next one? And what they had brought in Boris Kojo in the
yes. It's like anytime they're gonna bring a nigga in, they gotta take a nigga out. And now we are going to get into our horror versus game. I am so excited for our versus game this week. And remember, the theme is all things Demon Knight. So black final girls, villains. So when we get into our villains, Norman Bates versus Hannibal Lecter. Donna, which one is coming out on top and why?
I would say probably Norman Bates, just because he's got that schizophrenia going, or dual personality. And he would come across very, I guess, not a malicious person at first, but I don't know. Hannibal Lecter. I'm going to go with Norman.
Kay?
They bat on the same level of crazy. So I don't know if you want, identity crisis crazy or cannibal crazy. They're both in that same area. So I don't know. But if I had to choose which one I could personally be, I feel like I could knock over Norman myself. But I don't feel like, I would personally be more afraid of somebody who could eat me. So I'm gonna have to give it to Hannibal Lecter.
Brandy died, and I still know what you did last summer, right? No, she is a black final girl, Angel Hall. She lived. Tyra, who's coming out on top?
Oh, girl, Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter, and I love me some Norman, but that's a different type of crazy there. It's one thing to, watch the women and kill them, but we gonna watch them kill them and then eat them. That's totally different. And I'm just thinking about him getting loose in that cage and beating that officer with that club to classical music. Oh no, it's Hannibal all day long.
And I feel like Hannibal gonna mess with you mentally.
Yeah,
like
smart.
a whole nother level with him. AJ.
Yeah, I gotta go with Hannibal. I mean, this dude is a psychotic genius. I mean, like this dude got out of basically like the top tier confinement, crazy institution. But I mean, can't I feel like not only is he a genius, but being a cannibal too. I feel like he's way more. I think he's way scarier to me, and his potential to just outsmart you and then get up in your head and shit like that. Like I gotta go with Hannibal.
I always think about him eating old boy brain and like feeding it to him. Like, how you feed me my brain? Like, come on now. I don't think Norman ever did nothing on that level. Like, you feeding somebody their own brain? Billy Zane as the collector in Demon Knight versus what was Sam Reed character name in Event Horizon? I can't think, but AJ, who's coming out on top?
Was his name? Was it William or something like that?
Dr. something.
I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Who's coming out on top on this one? I mean, because they both similar in terms of like demonic power. I feel like I'm gonna have to give it to Billy Zane's character though, because it seems like he got a little bit more power than Sam Neill did in the Event Horizon. Just but the ability to summon demons and do all that extra crazy shit. I'm about to go with Billy Zane's character, the collector.
Okay.
I'm with AJ on this one. Yeah. And he even looks terrifying for that matter. And I would it's like when somebody looks terrifying, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do terrifying things. And so just off that alone, I'm with AJ.
The collector looked terrifying.
Oh wait, why am I looking at this picture? Because I'm thinking about I'm got to get my movies mixed up.
No,
yes,
that's Event Horizon.
That's right. I'm getting my why am I'm mixing the old boy up from I'm mixing the main character up from Demon Knight for this character of Demon Knight. That's how long it's been since I've seen it. Oh no, yeah, Event Horizon. Just, no.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. Because I love Demon Knight, but he was a bit comical for me. Like I feel like his evilness was wrapped in like I don't know, like whimsicalness for me.
Not whimsical.
It was just kind of like, I don't know. He was like not serious, but still evil.
Yeah. I mean, he did F people up, but I would be more scared to be on that Event Horizon ship. Donna.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I agree with AJ. It's the demons. Because, I mean, the doctor is going to be possessed and he is in a literal hell, but I'm not messing with demons. I think Billy Zane could take them.
Tyra.
I'm going with Dr. William. I'm going with Dr. William because nobody got away when Dr. William was in charge of that ship. Everybody died. There were no survivors in Event Horizon, if I'm not mistaken. Lawrence didn't make it out of that, did he? Did Lawrence
he sacrificed himself, I think.
Once again, we had to sacrifice. Yeah, we did it. We got to do all of that. At least Jada made it out the end. Like, no, I'm going with Kay's opinion, more of the comical route. As far as just terrifying and who could handle business and have one trajectory, I'm going to go with Dr. William because he was relentless once he was possessed and taken over.
Okay, now we are going with Blade villain versus Blade villain. Deacon Frost versus the villain from Blade 2, because I can't think of his name. But AJ, who's coming out on top?
Damn, I was hoping you wouldn't go to me first because I can't remember that Blade 2 villain that good. Because I watched Blade 1 so many more times than Blade 2. So I'm going to go with Deacon Frost.
Donna.
Wasn't his name like Nomak or Novak or something? I'm going with the Blade 2 villain. Yeah, Deacon Frost was just like a frat boy vampire. I couldn't stand him.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tyra.
Most definitely. In my review for Blade, I called him a Backstreet Boy. he was giving, 90s boy band. Like, he was just real cute and everything, had his little frosted tips. No, I'm definitely going to go with the vampire from Blade 2. Deacon was cool, though. But if we just talking about who's going to handle business, yeah, he was more terrifying than Deacon.
Yeah, if I gotta fight Deacon or I gotta fight the mutated vampire who open his mouth and freaking grab your neck like a pit bull, yeah, I'm more scared of Nomek. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I've watched Blade 1 and 2 equally same amount of times. And old boy from Blade 2, he can eat the vampire from Blade 1. That's not a competition.
He can. He was in there getting with them. He was getting the humans and the vampires, child. He was taking everybody.
Exactly.
Oh, girl.
Rose the Hat. One of my favorite villains ever of all time. But Rose the Hat versus... My mind just went blank. What was his name, child?
Jack Torrance.
Jack.
Thank you, Jack Torrance. Rose the Hat versus Jack Torrance. Donna.
It's definitely Rose the Hat. It's all about her. She is gonna devastate this man in ways he cannot understand.
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna go with Friend from the original, because I feel like even though she's creepier and scarier, but she's in her right mind, so she knows exactly what she's doing. He's being controlled by whatever is possessing that hotel. He's out of his mind and she's not. So I'm gonna always go with who's crazier. And I think at this moment he was crazier.
Tyra.
This is hard. Because I love me some Jack. But like Jack was still, even though he was like driven crazy by the hotel, for the most part, he was still just your average man. Rose the Hat, she's sucking the souls and essences out of little children, being real vampiric. You know, she was floating all in, you know, going inside your mind and you drink. Like it was, she had powers beyond anything that Jack could fathom. Now, and it's the difference between just being Jack and the ghosts that were inhabiting the hotel for all those years. I'm gonna go with Rose.
AJ.
Yeah, Rose could definitely do a lot more damage, but I think just like if you just saw them like just out, like, and you encountered them and you ain't know what she can do, and you just saw how crazy, like, look at like even how he looking in the picture, like I feel like he would come off way more intimidating. But we're talking about this capability, like definitely Rose.
Did I ask you, Donna? Did I go to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was first.
Okay. Y'all know my brain is decrepit. I can't remember. Then we have Esther versus Jigsaw. Who's coming out on top, Tyra?
Why would you put this here? Look at here. I'm gonna go with Jigsaw. Jigsaw is a whole, and I can't stand. I don't like the Saw franchise. I'm gonna go with Jigsaw. He is a mastermind, master manipulator, able to capture and get these. Like he knows all, sees all. How, I don't know, and it's all done with a purpose. Esther, she just trying to get in, just one family. I'm just trying to get in where I fit in, blend in for a little bit before I creep up on your husband. That's different. He's trying to manipulate a whole bunch of people, and he does it well, and draws them to their own death. So I'm gonna go with Jigsaw.
Yeah, Esther just want a man child. Okay.
I know so much. She ain't trying to fit in with no family. She trying to find a man to take care of her. That's all that. She don't want the other. She don't want the mom. She don't want the siblings. She don't want none of that. But I gotta go with my man Jigsaw. Why y'all like Jigsaw? He is doing the Lord's work out here. Okay, he is taking the criminals off the street. Okay, he is taking the people who don't need to be there, that are just evil and just doing these devious things in the dark, and saying like, I'm gonna make you pay for your mistakes and your ill will towards innocent people. I'm with that.
But Jigsaw doesn't do that. Jigsaw say, hey, look, you gave somebody a bad haircut, you finna be
Thank you.
Okay, but if he gave somebody a bad haircut and they took that person money and that might have been their last, that might not have been a good idea.
We got time. Kay always justifying.
I mean, you don't know what that bad haircut could have did. He was trying to go to a job interview and it was a big
his
job.
Last
now
$20.
he was, what I'm saying, he was homeless trying to get a job. Now, like, what I'm saying, put his family out, all this stuff. You don't know what that could have did.
Trying to
So I
feed
guess
the
we know your answer, AJ.
Oh, you already know. I'm a big fan of the Saw franchise. I know it's got some bad apples in that whole series, but I love the Saw franchise. So I got to go with my man John Kramer. First of all, like the dude, think about how just demented in the mind you got to be to even come up with the traps that he be coming up with. But he's like a genius. I mean, the dude was still doing work even after he died. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much plotting he did. So I got to go with John Kramer.
Donna.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with John. He is smart, he's methodical, he knows how to get people in these traps. As someone who's vertically challenged, I would not be afraid of Esther. I would just, put my hand on top of her head and wait for her to swing out.
Now, see, you're going to end up like the dad in Orphan because don't underestimate Esther, okay? I don't know why y'all giving her crap like that. And now we are going to do Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger versus Jackie Earl Haley's Freddy Krueger. Who is coming out on top, AJ?
Robert Englund. That's not even a question.
Why would you disrespect Robert like that?
Yep.
Look, I hated that new Freddy Krueger movie, but I actually feel like they should have just put him in a better movie. He did good as Freddy.
Okay.
I thought he was a good Freddy in a terrible, terrible, terrible.
Why you pick this picture, Nick? It's the worst picture you could.
Exactly. There was better pictures of him. He looks actually real scary in some of these scenes now.
Look, I ain't feel like getting these slides together when I did. So y'all better be lucky it's the picture up here. Okay, since you want to talk about the picture, who coming out first?
Got him like he was not even looking that silly in a movie. Okay, he was devious, and I will give it to him. I feel like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake was more serious. It took a real serious tone, and I actually like that they went into like a deep backstory. But we like Freddy because he's comical. That's part of his charm, okay? That's why we like him, because even though he's very creepy, he gonna make me laugh a little bit before he off me. So, I mean, there's nothing above Robert Englund.
Donna.
Yeah, definitely Robert Englund, but I agree with what you said. He was a good Freddy and a bad Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Jackie Earl Haley is a really good actor, but that wasn't the one. He definitely needs another horror franchise.
Did I call on everybody?
I would say don't even call me. You already know my answer. You ain't got to call me. You already know.
Tyra, what Freddy winning?
Robert. Robert. That first, I'm talking about that first Nightmare on Elm Street, ain't that second one. The ones from there, he winning. Now, the other one, he might play around with you in his sunglasses and whatnot, making jokes. The first two Freddys, they're winning all day.
And I like the voice he put on in the new Fred. I liked him in the new Fred. I just hated the movie, but I liked him. Bill Skarsgård, Pennywise versus Tim Curry, Pennywise. Donna.
I gotta say Tim Curry, just because I love Tim Curry so much. And his Pennywise scares me more than Skarsgård.
Are y'all just gonna give boring answers and just pick the original people? Just because they was the original don't mean they the best, okay? Because Bill did his thing. Kay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the different one here. Although I love the original It, Skarsgård, I feel like I have to watch that one in the daytime because he is really creepy. Like, wasn't nothing fun about this clown at all. He don't even on a good day look like a good clown. Like I don't want to go to him to make me no balloons or anything like that. He was freaking creepy, and the fact that in the remake we actually saw him attacking the children made it even more terrifying. Like, I think especially in that, the first movie, they alluded to a lot of the stuff that he was doing, but like when you literally watching him go toe to toe with these kids, no, it ain't nothing you could do about that one. He was really creepy to me. I don't care. I like the It remake.
Tyra.
I gotta go with Tim Curry.
Oh Lord.
I like Tim Curry. Like I enjoyed a lot of what Bill Skarsgård did and it is the better It film. But as far as the clown, I have to go with Tim Curry. Like, and it's not even about aesthetics and him looking friendly. Like, just what he did with the clown, his voice, the voice he made for the clown. I think it's probably mostly the voice because I really dislike the Bill Skarsgård clown voice. It wasn't my favorite, but it's just something when I don't, because then you're gonna take me off and put me in the dark if I say it's nostalgia. But it's nostalgia. Like, it's just really something nostalgic about Tim Curry in his performance. But the It clown in the performance of the movie overall for the newer one is better. But I got to give it to Tim. I'm sorry.
AJ.
So for me, they're pretty close, and I really like that. The '90s TV movie Tim Curry, It film. Like, it was creepy as hell. That creepy ass music, like his whole performance, it was super dope. But I think I actually like Bill Skarsgård more because it just felt even more like sinister. It felt more demented. And if I were to counter them in front of me, like the Bill Skarsgård one's gonna scare me way more than the Tim Curry one. And personally, I really liked the It remix. I thought they were really good, and I think Bill Skarsgård killed it. So I'm gonna go with Bill Skarsgård.
See, that's why I like you, AJ. Jason versus Michael Myers. K.
Okay, this one is hard because I like both of these. I like cheesy slasher movies. I'm an '80s baby. I'm sticking true to that. I love these. Every Friday the 13th, I'm looking for the marathon. At Halloween, it's Mike Myers. That's his time. I love them both. I can't even choose with this one. I love them both equally. I don't even know. I don't. They're both my guys. One and the same.
Somebody got to win and somebody got to lose.
You get the quick way.
I don't know. I can't choose. I'm even trying to think who has the better movies or whose movies I watch more. I literally watch them equal the same. I can't even choose.
Donna.
So it's a double-edged sword for me because I love Jason. Like, that is my favorite slasher. However, Michael is relentless. He does not stop. He keeps coming back. I feel like he is the better slasher. Even though I love Jason, I'm going to say Michael.
Tyra.
Michael Myers. Michael Myers is I just really like that Michael Myers has always looked the same. Whether it's an old, tethered, dirty, disgusting gray mask or a newer mask or a digital one that they tried to do in H2O that was terrible. Whichever, like, he always looks consistent and he's just relentless. Jason has gone through some changes, honey. You just don't know. It's gonna be his mama. It's the bag. Like, there has been the hockey mask or just the, oh my goodness, what was that when he was just like a worm traveling from person to person? I don't.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, it's been a lot, with that one. Michael Myers has always just been consistently and relentlessly Michael. So I'm gonna go with him.
AJ.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Michael Myers too. And it's kind of like what Tyra said. Like, he has this like consistency about him through all the films, and also like there's something about, I don't know if it's like the mask or what, but like his aura just feels way more creepier than Jason's does. And I feel like Jason movies, like, they're good for, like the gore and like the effects and having a good time. But there's something about some of the Halloween movies just have this like extra, like, this creepy element to it. So I think I'm gonna give it to Michael Myers.
Am I the only person on the planet that does not like Friday the 13th?
So you guys only get Jason? Come on now.
I really couldn't care less, but that's like my least favorite horror franchise is Friday the 13th.
Ma'am.
Carrie versus Leatherface. Donna.
Carrie, because she's got telekinesis. She's got powers. There's Leatherface's toast. That's it.
AJ.
I think I'm going with Leatherface in this one in terms of like just raw like scare potential. Like, uh, I mean, like shit, you might be able to reason with Carrie to some degree, depending on the different what kind of state she's in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like Leatherface, like, and that whole family and shit, like, that is way scarier to me. Not saying that her having powers ain't scary, but there's just something about that Leatherface, the cannibals, the chainsaw, the sound, the noises that he be making, all that stuff. Like Leatherface is just way scary.
Yeah, I think about the original Texas Chainsaw when he pulls the girl. I think it's when he pulls her through that front door. I think she's like trying to get away or something. If I'm on a road trip and I gotta come across somebody, I'd rather come across Carrie. Because as long as you don't bully her, it's really no need for her to do nothing to you. Okay.
Exactly. You just gotta be nice.
Right.
No, because that Poe gym teacher was the only nice person, and she died anyway. No.
Look, once itch pop off, everybody could get it. Okay.
But see, Leatherface, and that now I know, granted, that this probably was like one of the least liked ones, but when that one little girl said, we cousins, he ain't do nothing to her. He was like, oh, that's family. I'm gonna leave you alone. We're gonna
Do
be
you
good.
think, cuz?
So exactly. So see, if you Carrie friend, she might leave you alone. If you Leatherface cousin, he might leave you alone. So but I'm gonna go with Leatherface because again, completely terrifying. Carrie got to build her anger up. You know what I mean? Like, you got to actually bully her for a little while to get her to that place where she's trying to, terrify you and do all these things that you ain't gonna be able to escape. He's angry and we're good to go. Like, he don't need to be prompted or anything. Like, he's ready.
Tyra, I already know who you're going with, but just go ahead and play along.
Who I'm going with, Nikki? Who I'm going with?
Leatherface.
I am. I'm glad you know. I absolutely am. You know I have a soft spot for Texas Chainsaw Massacre and just brute force. For some reason, I just feel like no telekinesis. I just don't even feel like that would stop him. Like, she would really have to. There's this unstoppable quality to Leatherface. He's always going, and I like that he moves like with like brunt force. He isn't, the stroke. Like he moves. Carrie, she's going, stand in her one spot and do her thing. But by the time you flick them eyes once, girl, I'm already over there with the chainsaw. It's over. It's done. It's done. It's done.
Okay. Now, Ma versus Brenda from Urban Legend. Two unhinged, crazy women. Donna.
Man, that's a hard one because they are both super nuts. I'm gonna go with Ma. I think Ma could take her out. I think it would be a good fight.
Tyra.
Yeah, Ma had a little age on her. Mom was trying to be, I'm a cool mom. She was trying to be a cool mom. Like, ma'am, get away from the function buying these kids alcohol. I'm gonna go with Ma. It takes a special kind of person to do what she did in that movie. I feel like she's the more unhinged one.
AJ.
Yeah, I agree. She definitely the way more unhinged one, man. The stuff that she was like doing with these kids. Like, to Tara's point, you gotta be, I think anything that involves kids, you have to be at a certain level of crazy. So I'm gonna go with Ma on this one.
Why is y'all look, y'all need to put some respect on Brenda's name, because when she went crazy, she went crazy. Okay.
Now, I would have given it to old girl from Urban Legend because she was real smooth with hers. Okay, she was a slick one. The only reason I'm giving it to Ma was because of how she did her own daughter. That's it. Them other kids, it don't even matter. Like, the way she treated her own child and the way she kept her in that house and kept her sick, that she is sick for that one. So I'm gonna have to give it to Ma for being more unhinged.
I really want them to make another horror movie for Octavia Spencer to star in as a villain, because I loved her, but I did not like the movie. They need to give her something else. Put some respect on her. Demon Knight versus Tales from the Hood. Tyra.
Oh, girl, I gotta go Tales from the Hood. Clarence Williams is over there. What you saying? Clarence is over there. Anybody here from my channel, y'all already know how I feel about me some Clarence Williams III all day long. Like, it's we're gonna get into Demon Knight, but Tales from the Hood is just, you get 4 for 1, you get a special, you get some stories, you get it's layers to it. It's so much there. It's so much depth there that we don't get, with Demon Knight. I gotta go with Tales from the Hood.
Yeah, our previous KillerCon, we were talking about underrated horror icons. If somebody don't give Clarence Williams the Key to the City, the Oscar, that was one of the greatest performances of horror ever. Like ever. I don't care. Like, shut the hell up. AJ.
No, I agree 100%. With Tales from the Hood all the way, because I mean, for one, you get multiple stories, but all the stories are very effective, and then Clarence Williams III, man, especially like with the way that ended, like with the fucking tongue and like just the way it all played out, like the whole overarching, main story, like that is just a dope movie, and it was creepy as hell back in the day.
Donna.
Yeah, I agree. You get the social commentary. You get Clarence Williams III, who is amazing. Lots of lessons, and one of the first few Black horror anthologies where we get to see people that look like us. So definitely Tales from the Hood.
Am I the only person picking Demon Knight? Okay.
It's real close for me because I would say Demon Knight is more rewatchable because I watched as a child. I watched that movie an unbearable amount of times. I don't know why. Maybe it just came on TV a lot and I watched it. That was a frequent one, but I had to push it over to Tales from the Hood because them little puppet doll things. That took it for me. That was it.
You get puppet dolls. You even get a demon zombie type thing in the first mortuary story. Like you get everything here.
I don't like none of y'all. I Am Legend versus 28 Days Later. Black Lead versus Black Lead. Who's coming out? Which movie is coming out on top? AJ.
Man, because I really liked 28 Days Later, as this like visceral zombie film. But to be honest, I think I watched I Am Legend way more times. And then on top of that, I mean, if you really thinking about it, I mean, Will Smith is the last dude, so obviously, like, the dude knows what he's doing in terms of if you're talking about characters coming out on top. And then I just like the whole concept and the whole, like, just how messed up his mind was from being so alone and talking to the daggone mannequins and shit like that. I'm Legend is a dope film, and I much prefer the alternate ending with that movie too.
Yeah, same. And I feel like even though Will Smith did 8 pounds and concussion and all his movies to try to get his Oscar, the best acting I've ever seen in my life from Will Smith is when he go up to that mannequin and he like, please talk to me. I thought that was so freaking good. His performance in I Am Legend, that should have got him his damn Oscar. Tyra.
I'm gonna go with 28 Days Later, and not just because it's on my wall, but yeah, did nobody black sacrifice themselves? There was no reason talking about characters that should have survived and made it to the end, and that alternate ending that they opted not to do. He didn't have to die. He did not have to die, and we went through with that anyway. Naomi did what she needed to do, and she survived all the way through the end, and she ain't jumping in front of no bullets for the whites. I'm gonna go with 28 Days Later.
For the whites. Donna.
Yeah, 28 Days Later, Selena and her machete, just surviving like she did and still having that vulnerability. It's definitely 28 Days Later.
Okay.
28 Days Later, that first movie was a little creepy to me because that was because sometimes zombie movies can get a little silly, but I didn't know they was gonna be like serious in 28 Days Later. Like there wasn't no laughing matter in this movie. So I like the creepy factor of that movie. I felt that, and the way that it was shot, it made me feel like I was in survival mode. Like, why is my heart beating fast? But I got to give this to Big Willie from Philly because I'm with AJ. I've watched this movie like several times. The rewatchability of it. If it come on TV right now, I'm gonna watch I Am Legend. So just
really?
off that alone.
It's so surprising.
Why won't you talk to me? Well, when he said that, I was like, okay, Will, give him the Oscar. Because y'all know Will was trying hard for his Oscar for a while. House on a Haunted Hill versus Urban Legend. I was adopted.
Oh.
Which movie coming out on top, Donna?
Oh man, that's a hard one. House on Haunted Hill, because it was just way creepier to me. And the line you just said that I was adopted, that alone made me want this movie more. Yeah.
Tara.
House on Haunted Hill. That's one I always forget about when we talk about us surviving all the way to the end in horror movies. And just because I can remember when it came out and me going to see it, because I was in my stages of discovering Marilyn Manson, and they were tying that Sweet Dream. So they were playing that video for House on Haunted Hill on MTV like relentlessly. You could not see this movie. So I'm gonna go with that. And I just haven't seen Urban Legend in a while, but I remember those folk legend scenarios being really, really cool and creative. I can't think of nothing but Loretta in her security outfit and Tara Reid screaming in a booth or something. It's just not really fresh in my memory, but I need to go check it out. I even forgot that Jared Leto was in the movie. It's some people in this movie. Look at this poster. I'm gonna watch it when we get off here.
Yeah, you should. And watch Loretta Devine doing her Pam Grier.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which movie coming out on top, Kay?
I like Urban Legend. It's severely underrated, but if I want to go to the one that's a little bit creepier, House on Haunted Hill is just a little creepier for me, so I'm gonna go with that one.
AJ,
I ain't seen these movies in so long that I don't really remember but bits and pieces. So I'm gonna skip this one because I can't get them out of a fair shake. Cause I can't really remember them that good. I gotta rewatch these ones.
Y'all gotta rewatch y'all 90s horror. I feel like, but you know what? I think I am just like, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm the type of person, if I like something, I will literally wear it into the ground. Like I will rewatch stuff. I remember I was dating this guy and he was like, "You watching Scarface again?" Like literally every time you come to my house, if I'm in a certain like mode, I'm going to be watching the same. I literally saw John Carpenter's The Thing like three times in 2 days. I watched Demon Knight like 4 days this week. Like I will watch the same stuff. Yes, I will watch the same thing over and over and over and over and over if I like it. I just saw House on Haunted Hill last year and I saw Urban Legend last year. But
I just saw House on Haunted Hill recently this year, and I was like, you know what? It still is kind of, it's still certain things, the effects, child. But you don't care about them effects, Nikki. But it was still kind of holding up. I was like, it's still entertaining.
Yeah, it gotta be real bad for me to really, when they had the little, what was that black smoke thing? No, that was bad. Even for me. But solid as hell movie though. Attack the Block versus Alien versus Predator 2. Tyra.
Ooh, I really liked Attack the Block. I always wanted Attack the Block to be like 30 minutes longer. I always thought it was like one of them little short, really, really short movies. But I'm gonna go with Alien versus Predator because I was a really big fan of both franchises. The Predator is like one of my faves, and when this happened, it was really anticipated because I had been following the Predator franchise forever, and I remembered that little what was that? The little memento that they left, like, oh, there may be something in the future in that Predator 2 with Danny Glover, and he's walking and you see the xenomorph head in the collection. And I think everybody was waiting and anticipating them linking up in a versus for a very long time. And then we finally got it. So I'm going to go with Alien versus Predator.
Alien versus Predator is not trash. Now, why are you coming through hating, Paulie? Y'all check out Latino Slant if you haven't. AJ, Attack the Block versus AVP.
Well, I brought up one of my final girls earlier, Sanaa Lathan, so you already know I'm gonna pick AVP. Man, I loved this movie when I was a kid. I watched it I had the DVD. I watched it so many times. And like Tyra said, right? Like, when you look back on Predator 2 and there was that hint with the xenomorph skull, like, everyone was like, oh man, like we got to see these people face off. So it's like a big fan service moment to have a movie like this come out. Yeah. And I know, like, hey, look, like dude just said, like it's trash, and I know a lot of people hate on it, but it worked for me, and I'm sure nostalgia is covering up a lot of the issues. But man, I love Alien versus Predator. The second one, that was, I think, even rougher, but all the way AVP.
Yeah, Alien versus Predator is one of those movies I talk about that I didn't know people hated until like I got on the internet. Like I really remember this coming out. I loved it. I was so hyped for them to come together. And I was like, oh, people. Now I do agree. I wish it was rated R, but I think it's really solid. Now, yeah, Requiem is a mess. It's a mess. Donna.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Attack the Block just because it's a bunch of kids defending where they live with what they have, and plus John Boyega was just so great in that. It's one of my favorite ones to watch, so definitely Attack the Block.
If anybody isn't aware, me and John Boyega will be wed, okay? Predator 2 gets no love. Predator 2 gets a lot of love. I rank it higher than the first Predator, which most people do not.
What in the world? I ain't never heard something like that in my life.
I love Predator. But you know what? It also may be Predator 2 was the first Predator movie I saw. I think I was like 6 years old, and I saw Predator 2 before I saw Predator, and I loved it, and I still love it today. And I rank it higher than Arnold, even though I love Arnold. But Predator 2 is so 90s, and Danny Glover acting is so over the top. I love that. I love that movie. Kay.
I do love both of these. But Attack the Block made me mad because how you save the world and then get arrested at the end. So just because of that, I'm giving it to AVP. Because why can't the black person be the hero? Why we can't be the hero and just live our lives?
Hey, Ma, thank you for being in my live. I love Attack the Block. Yes, my mother was trying to get me to watch Attack the Block for years, and I hate teenagers, so it took me a while to get around to it. But it is a really good movie.
It is.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer versus Vampire in Brooklyn. Donna.
Oh man. I don't know. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer because Vampire in Brooklyn is just cute to me. It's not, I couldn't take that seriously if I wanted to, but I love that movie because everybody in it is so gorgeous. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. That's it. I'm sticking to it.
And fun fact with Vampire in Brooklyn, I did not see that movie for the first time until I was an adult because every time I tried to see it as a kid, my mother would be like, it's your bedtime, you gotta go to sleep. And I remember she would not let me stay up late and watch Vampire in Brooklyn because it was going to be the last day of school. And I said, but can I stay home since it's the last day? And she said, no. Do you know I had to go to bed and she let me stay home from school the next day? So I didn't get a chance to watch the movie. See how parents do? AJ, I hope you treat your daughter better. Which movie coming out on top?
Nah, I treat my baby girl real good, but I gotta keep it a buck. I ain't never seen Vampire in Brooklyn, so I can't even give it.
The log off.
I gotta keep it real. It always looked goofy, so I just never watched it. So I gotta keep it a bang.
Give me a black card right now.
I ain't never watched it. So by default, I'm going with I Still Know.
Wow.
It is goofy. It is very, very goofy. Did I go to you, Tyra?
No.
We don't want to leave Tyra out. Okay, we don't want to leave Tyra out. Which one coming out on top, Tyra?
Girl, Vampire in Brooklyn. I don't care about the campiness of it all. I love me a good some good horror comedies on a good day, and this is that personified. John Witherspoon, Eddie doing his pre-nutty professor being everybody and their mama in the movie. Like it's great. Like Angela Bassett looking like the most beautiful black vampire that you would ever want to see. Like, please no, it's Vampire in Brooklyn all day.
Yeah, Angela Bassett is freaking gorgeous. The Girl with All the Gifts versus Sweetheart. K.
Hold on, wait a minute. Go back.
Oh, did I not call? Which one? Which one, K? I Still Know or Vampire in Brooklyn?
Now, I am a fan of 2000s horror. That was a good genre for me. Those movies I frequently visit. But there is nothing like the nostalgia of Vampire in Brooklyn. I'm sorry. I know I can literally recite that movie line by line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why I was able to watch that movie that many times as a child, I don't know. I don't know what growing up in the 90s was just different. But Vampire in Brooklyn. This one I'm gonna have to give it to The Girl with All the I like Sweetheart. That was a movie I didn't expect to be as good as it was. I randomly found it on Netflix one day, but The Girl with All the Gifts, simply because she was just like she came out on top. Like she's like I'm the big boss now. Like what we gonna do about it? And let her like the zombies won in that movie. Like they won.
Donna.
Yeah, I agree. The Girl with All the Gifts, especially because she found her purpose and she understood who she was and she embraced who she was. It was just probably one of the best films I'd seen. And once again, from the novel, her being a Caucasian girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, to the girl that we get in the movie, it's an excellent choice. Definitely her all the way.
Tyra.
I have to pick The Girl with All the Gifts by default because I've never seen Sweetheart. I've never seen Sweetheart. I've seen it mentioned a lot in conversations, so maybe I should check it out. And I keep seeing her as a black final girl, so I need to check it out for that reason alone. But I really enjoyed The Girl with All the Gifts. I'm with Kay. Like, we are used to certain apocalypto zombie outbreak movies going in a certain way, and they won in the end. That was so surprising to me. She was just such a different type of character. Like I just liked her whole narrative in the film, and just how the film ended is very different. And I've rewatched it several times.
AJ.
Yeah, I do like the premise and story of The Girl with All the Gifts, but actually I give it a Sweetheart. I actually really like Sweetheart. It was a surprising creature feature for me. And I feel like we need more of those. I like the way it ended. And that's why I brought her up when we talked about Final Girls earlier. I thought it was like a really dope film that surprised me a lot. And we need more creature features. So I'm gonna give it a Sweetheart.
Do. Oh my God. Yeah. I love a creature feature. And I remember my first time seeing Sweetheart, I went in blind and I was going to be so pissed off because it's these two other white people in the movie and they don't believe her that the creature exists and they tie her up. And I thought, I was like, oh, hell no. Like I just knew she was going to die. But she ended up the final girl. Gothica versus Predator 2. K.
Ma'am. You put a creature movie versus a psychological thriller, ma'am.
The theme is black folk. If it's black folk, I'm putting them together.
But I'm gonna go with Gothica on this because I love me a good psychological thriller. It took me a couple times to pay attention because my mind be elsewhere. But in the end, I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I love Gothica. And do y'all know when I first started my YouTube channel, somebody said, I'll never listen to anything you say because you think Halle Berry could act. I will never forget that. AJ.
I'm gonna have to give it a Predator 2 on this one, naturally, just because I'm a big fan of the Predator franchise. And then also, like, I think I watched Gothica like once, and I haven't rewatched it in so long that I got like bits and pieces on it. I need to rewatch that one. It's been a while, but Predator 2 for me.
Doesn't it feel like it's just not enough hours in a day to watch everything? Like, oh my, it's
tough.
It is. I love
because like there's so much new stuff always coming out that it's hard to go back and watch old stuff because there's always new content coming out.
Yeah, Donna.
I'll probably go with Gothica just because it's such a good psychological horror. Plus, it's kind of a ghost story. And seeing Charles Dutton die again in a movie, but it's still really good. I mean, why every time? Why does this brother show up? Half the time they kill him off. But anyway, I like Gothica. Love Predator 2, but I love a good ghost story, especially when it talks about asylums and the way they treat people in mental institutions. That was a really good film, I believe.
And why we don't get no love for Charles S. Dutton TV show he used to have, Rock? I used to love that show. Tyra.
Huh? What happened? Oh. I'm just looking at Gothic. I'm thinking about Penelope Cruz getting on my nerves, speaking in code. Girl, just tell me what's wrong. I got time. I'm gonna go with Predator 2 because I'm just thinking about not only Danny Glover over there doing the most, but my faves are over there. You know, crazy Gary Busey doing Gary Busey stuff. Bill Paxton is over there. I'm picking anything with Bill Paxton on a good day. Like I'm gonna have to go with Predator 2. And just Gothica was cool, but it was forgettable for me. That's not one I revisit a lot. I revisit it sometime, but I always think of that when it's like, oh, that's the one where they wasted Robbie Downey Jr. or whatever. Like it didn't do anything for me like that.
Not as forgettable. Oh my God, you're a hard critic. Well, Fresh versus Smile. We got, a black side character, the black fiance and the black BFF. AJ.
So I've never seen Fresh, but as much as I love Smile, I feel like it'd be hard. Even if I seen it, it'd be hard to beat it because I really like Smile. I think that after I saw it in theaters, when it came to streaming, I think I watched it like 2 or 3 more times. I'm hyped for that second one. I thought this was a really creative film. I love the like how they filmed it, like a lot of the cinematography and the camera movement choices that they made. It was just creepy, and I felt like I hadn't been creeped out in a while about horror film when this one came out in terms of new ones. So I gotta give it a Smile.
Yeah, I remember when Smile came out, and it was so disappointing to see it in theaters. I was like, I hated it. But then we got to the third act, and I was in love. I love that third act. Donna.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Smile. Just the marketing, the way the story went. I'm very hyped to see the second one. Loved Sebastian Stan and I loved Fresh, but Smile just was creepier and really got under my skin. So that's definitely the choice.
Tyra.
I'm gonna go with Fresh. I don't want to wait to the third act. Okay, I don't have time. I don't have time. I need you to get me with it and enchant me immediately. I've had my share of nobody believing the lead and her little trash boyfriend. Like, oh, the lack of chemistry there was terrible. It was just bad. Like the third act did what needed to be done, but I'm over my share of like the truth or dare-esque over smiling at the camera. I was over that. Fresh, I'm a sucker for cannibalism. Okay, I really liked Fresh. I enjoyed where it was going. The best friend survived. I'm always here for that. She survived. I just liked how different Fresh was. It was just that. It was fresh. It was a different take on, cannibalism and why he was doing the things that he did and just his approach to it and the ladies being locked up. Like, I enjoyed it through and through versus waiting for something to pop off in the third act with Smile. No.
Okay.
I agree with Tyra on this one. Smile, I guess I wasn't wowed because it reminded me too much of Truth or Dare, I believe was the movie. It was way too similar. And so the concept of it, like because a lot of people, I guess, didn't Truth or Dare, like just blew past them. They never seen it. So I would get why they would like Smile more, but it was like Smile was just like Truth or Dare meets It Follows. So I guess I wasn't wowed. But Fresh was fun. That was a fun movie. Like I enjoyed that movie from like the beginning to the end. Like that was a really, really fun movie. And I would much rather have fun watching Fresh than Smile because I'm just like this one movie is like 2 movies put together. So it was just okay for me.
Yeah, I feel like Smile was very reminiscent of the typical there's a curse, and now you got to either go to the library, get on the internet, or find a survivor and figure out how to beat the curse. But I do love the ending. I love not a happy ending. I love a villain wins ending. Escape Room versus The Last Voyage. Black character survive versus black character survives. Donna.
Definitely Escape Room, because Zoe was one of my favorite characters to watch, just to see her going through all of these different rooms and then getting angry at what they were doing to her. I feel like the escape room movies are so good. I don't know if y'all have been to an escape room, but after seeing this, I don't even want to go to one. I'm deathly afraid of not being able to get out of stuff now because of this. And I'm not even claustrophobic or scared of things like this, but something about those escape room movies and her tenacity throughout both of them, I really just appreciate her character. So escape room.
Yeah, child, you're not locking me in nothing. Tyra.
Same thing as Donna, but I'm like the opposite. This made me go to my first escape room. I was like, oh, I'm going to the escape room. And I've been to them at least once every year since this film has came out. I love a good escape room. I really enjoyed like Kay was speaking on fun movies. Escape Room was a really good time. It reminded me of Cube, and I love me some Cube. So it was fun in that sense. Last Voyage, I watched it that one time and then I forgot. I forgot about it because it just reminded me. I was like, ooh, when I get home, I'm gonna watch Bram Stoker's Dracula. You're not supposed to be thinking that when you're watching something else. That's not how it's supposed to go. And it served a purpose, but it wasn't anything just amazing to stick with me. I really enjoyed Escape Room.
AJ.
Yeah, I'm actually the opposite on y'all. Like I thought Escape Room was cool, but I don't think after I watched it that first time, I don't think I revisited it. But Last Voyage of the Demeter, I messed with that movie. That movie was, it was just dope. I love the atmosphere of it. I love the design of Dracula in this one, taking the more like this dude just an ugly, ugly ass creature approach, and then it's being contained on this boat and having that thriller aspect where at nighttime we got to figure out what we're gonna do, because Dracula's coming out. And it was and then also the potential for sequels, like the way it kind of ended. I know some people weren't really messing with it, but I kind of liked it because like, oh, maybe we'll go down this like vampire hunter approach or some Van Helsing type stuff. But I think I would definitely give it to Last Voyage of the Demeter on this one.
Yeah, I like the way it ends with the black guy in the ocean, but I don't like them tacking on the end with him in London. I hated that.
See, I liked it.
And I get they wanted it to be open, but I was just like, oh, come on now, child. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a little too on the nose of like, yeah, we could have a sequel. Okay.
I actually did like that little end piece there. I liked it. The Last Voyage to me was very underrated, and being that I have the Dracula book, and so when they said like this was taken from the captain's log, I went back and read it, and they did a good job of translating that one chapter into a full-fledged movie. It was very dark, it was very creepy, it was very eerie. I love the kills. They didn't even spare the children in this one, so I love that about it. But Escape Room, I would watch that more often because it was a fun movie. So The Last Voyage is definitely underrated, and if nobody's seen it, I would go and watch it and support this movie. It really was good. But Escape Room, because it's fun, I watch it like way more.
Yeah, I love both of them. I think Last Voyage of the Demeter was like my top 10 movie that year. The Purge Anarchy versus The Purge Election Year. K.
Anarchy Election Year. I was just about to say, which one was the black people? Okay, that one ain't up here.
Both. Well, the whole theme is black folks.
Because the first Purge is that's the one right there. That
was all the whites. These are the two with the blacks.
Not the first Purge movie, but the one that they called the first Purge.
No, not the movie called The First Purge. I hated that movie. No.
What? That was my favorite one.
Oh my. See, I think these two are the best in the franchise. I hated The First Purge. Oh my God.
I love the first Purge. That was my favorite. Purge Anarchy was the second one, right?
See, sometimes I think you got taste, and then you say things like the first Purge was your favorite, and I just don't know what to do.
I do. I love
Anarchy
that.
is
That's
the one with Bubba Gump. That's the one he in. Where the white couple get stranded and get with the black folk and I forgot, and Frank Grillo.
Because I know I'm trying to put them in order in my mind to realize.
I ain't gonna lie, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember.
No, I'm looking it up now. Nikki, I'm not about to play with you.
Okay, we got the Purge.
Anarchy came first.
Yes,
before
Anarchy
election year.
came first. It was with Bubba Gump. You know, he didn't have a shrimp boat. He had a corner stove. And the white couple got stranded, and the black Xena warrior princess was riding through the ghetto with an ambulance trying to help people, and Frank Grillo was trying to kill the guy that hit his son in the car.
I think I like Anarchy more than Election Year. Although Election Year was a lot more, it elaborated on really how deep this purge thing was and how they were kind of like trying to abolish it. But the Purge Anarchy was like, we needed to really see what it looked like outside of that first movie when it was just this family and nothing was too big. We didn't see what was happening in the world outside of that family. And so when the Purge Anarchy came, we got to really, really see like the world is just like in a disarray right now.
Tyra, do you remember the movies?
Child, let me look up Election Year.
Election Year was the black mom and her daughter got drugged out the projects.
Oh,
stopped to help them.
I just don't. I'm with Kay. Like, why didn't you put the first Purge up? I remember that one.
Terrible one.
The ones that stick out to me is that first Purge, the first, one with Ethan Hawke, and the rest of them try to blur. I'm just gonna go with the Purge Anarchy for 200, Alex, because I don't try to make me remember that they all run together. I couldn't tell you what happened. This is not one of my particular franchises, but I couldn't tell you what happened. And which one was they on a ranch?
Let's move on. I need to move to the next round because y'all don't even know the movie.
Was either one of these the one where they were on a ranch with a family with some cowboy hats?
That's the Forever Purge.
See, I remember that one. I don't remember these.
I'm the only person that knows this franchise.
Yeah, I'm with everybody else. I vaguely remember these two, and they feel so blended together that I can't even really separate them. But to be honest, I actually also really like the first Purge as well. So the first Purge movie, the OG one,
or the first,
the OG Purge, like the Ethan Hawke Purge.
The Ethan Hawke Purge.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that with them names. Okay, does anybody remember Scream 6 and Jeepers Creepers 2?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Donna.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the whole Purge and all of them seem the same because they all seem the same. I thought it was just me. So Scream 6 over Jeepers Creepers 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, Scream 6. Just because, they're in New York and there's a lot more stuff going on, and I like the Scream franchise. It's like one of my favorites.
Black people surviving in both of them. Kay.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with Scream 6. I watched it, but it's something about Jeepers Creepers 2 because the era that it came out that I just rewatched that one a lot. So I got to give it to Jeepers Creepers 2.
Tyra.
I really like Jeepers Creepers 2. I really do. You already know how I feel about the Scream franchise. They had me like the intro for the Scream. I was like, oh, they doing something different. Then they went back down them dusty trails, and then I left again. I'm going to go with Jeepers Creepers 2. I like the scenario of the teenagers being on the bus and just the moral complex of, when he looked at you, he looked at you. I like that scenario. And we get more familiar with the creeper and up close and personal. I'm going to go with Jeepers Creepers 2.
AJ.
I really like Scream 6. Like Scream 6 actually surprised me. It was a really good movie. I actually really enjoyed it. There's some really good like slasher chase type sequences. 'Cause I think that was the one where they were in that apartment building going across the ladder and shit.
That's
Like I really like Scream 6 a lot.
when
But
he came out with a shotgun.
Jeepers Creepers 2 is something special. There's one instance where the sequel I think is even better than the first one. At least for me.
Now hold on, now don't go too crazy.
That's just it for me. I rewatched this movie so many times. The premise is perfect. Like being stranded out in the middle of nowhere on this bus, like perfect setup and the perfect like creature, just slasher type movie. I'm all about Jeepers Creepers 2 for this one.
Yeah, them teenagers got on my nerves, so I don't rewatch it as much, but it is a great movie. Okay.
Oh yeah, you already got me on this one.
Yes, Donna.
Oh, I thought I started with Donna. Go ahead, Donna.
You did start with me. You already did.
She did everybody.
Okay. When it comes to the creatures, do you rather face some creatures from The Descent, or you rather face the creeper, Tyra?
The creeper. You know, we in the dark for the ones with The Descent. If I can't see, then how am I supposed to run? Because if I'm anywhere near those, that means I can't see. Oh, in them the claustrophobic closed spaces, I'm gonna go with the creeper. At least I know if I got a chance before he go away for them 23 years and 23 summers and whatnot. I'm gonna go with the creeper.
Donna, which one you rather face?
Oh, definitely the creeper. Because if you're not afraid of him, he's not going to do nothing to you.
Not even that. If you don't like the way you smell, I might make it.
Well, what if he like the way you smell?
Oh, girl, then I gotta run.
AJ, which creature you rather face?
I think for me, it'd rather be the ones from The Descent. I feel like you could take them. You can't take the creeper. And ain't no way nobody on this panel could sit here and tell me if the creeper were in front of them that they wouldn't be scared. So y'all,
There's so many of them though, AJ. It's just one creeper. It's a gazillion of them down there.
Well, how about this? Can you be prepared if you was in that cave? Like, I got weapons with me. Like, can I bring something? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Because you can stop them things. You can't stop the creeper.
I feel like if Juno could survive, I got a chance.
Don't even wrap me with Juno. Juno was active. They was climbing mountains and hiking. I ain't that active, okay? I'm not gonna make it.
Give me one of those flamethrowers, and I think I can take them things in that cave. Exactly. I'm not effing with the creep. I haven't seen Jeepers Creepers past the second one, but nobody ever killed him. Nobody successfully killed him. No. We killed some of them little crawlers. Which one you rather face?
Let me see. Jeepers Creepers dude, we don't know where he's gonna be at. We know he's not gonna be here often, but we don't know when he's coming. I know I'm not gonna face them little creature things under because I'm not going no cave diving and dwelling and stuff. I'm not going down there. So y'all can go and I will take pictures when you guys come back up.
My God. Nope versus Barbarian. AJ.
Yeah, it's gonna be Nope for me. I'm a big fan of Nope. I know a lot of people weren't messing with it like that, but I watched the movie a few times now. Nope is so dope. I really like the story, the sci-fi elements. I like how he kind of played a trick on you in the beginning with the aliens and all that, and like let you know like, hey, this isn't that kind of movie. This is a way smarter movie, and I like the messaging within it about like Hollywood and being focused on like all the like dramatics that you see on like the news and stuff like that. Super dope. Barbarian, I really like the first half or the however amount of Barbarian before you really know what's going on. And that's not to say it's a bad movie because I still think it's good and how it ended, but I think like the second half wasn't as good as that first half before you realize, oh, this is what this is.
Okay.
I want AJ on this. I did like the first part of Barbarian. I was like, this is gonna be a decent movie, but as a whole, I'm with Nope on this one. I mess with Nope too. I thought it was a solid movie, and it was entertaining, and I love to see us win in the end.
Tyra,
I was not a big fan of Nope.
You're such a hater.
I wasn't. I would never forgive them for wasting Michael Wincott like that. Don't play with that man. But Nope was different. I liked a lot of things about Nope, but collectively as a film, it's just not my favorite from Jordan. But I do love to see us win. I did love the third act more than anything. But it was different and creative. But with that being said, I'm gonna choose Nope over Barbarian just because Barbarian didn't know what it wanted to be. Barbarian it's like 3 movies in one. It had a whole lot going on. It kind of made a little sense, and then I just felt like collectively there were too many things going on to just make it 100% really great film. So I'm gonna go with Nope.
Donna.
Oh, it's definitely Nope. That movie is probably my favorite Jordan Peele movie at this point until his next one comes out. And to see the dynamics between this brother and sister, and to see them pulling together to fight against something. It had all of the comic elements. It had elements of Jaws, Close Encounters. It's just a great movie. Absolutely love that film. So Nope.
Yeah, that's my favorite Jordan Peele. Deep Blue Sea versus Infested. I don't know if y'all have seen Infested yet, but we got some black folk in horror in a creature feature that came out this year. Tyra.
Deep Blue Sea, because it's no reason that LL had, like you said earlier, it's written in his contract somewhere. Like I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna do my lines. You can't kill me. I will not be a fellow black man down in a horror movie. Like I'm just thinking, how the earth still holds stood because everybody was like really taken back. It was kind of given, a Scream Psycho situation. Like, oh, well, they got Samuel L. Jackson in the movie. He definitely making it to the end as a black man. Ain't nothing. When that shark jumped up, it ate Samuel L. Jackson out of nowhere. I remember it was like, what the hell? But I'm gonna go with Deep Blue Sea. I haven't had time to like really sit with Infested. It's one of those movies I watched like, when you kind of have sleep and it's watching you, but you watching it. I need to really be alert and give it its just due. But I'm gonna go with Deep Blue Sea until I watch Infested further.
Okay.
Yeah, same as Tyra. Like I seen it on Shudder. You kind of click on it like, oh, this is new, and not really pay attention to it. So I got to give it to Deep Blue Sea. First of all, Deep Blue Sea is the class. Why would you put a classic with this new movie? Why would you even do that? Even if I fully watched Infested and saw it was a good movie, you're not going to take away from this classic movie right here of Deep Blue Sea. And the end, y'all ain't even got that music at the end. Okay, LL survived and he did a little song at the end of the movie. They ain't got that.
My head is a shark's fin.
That's right. Deepest Bluest was a bop.
Y'all need to give Infested a chance. It was good.
But do they got LL on the soundtrack?
Donna.
Deepest Bluest, my head is like a shark's fin. Hey, KK say shout out to the
Sorry. So yeah, Deep Blue Sea definitely. They killed LL's bird. He had to take that shark out, and yeah, that's a bop. Seriously, that soundtrack is a bop.
Oh gosh.
AJ.
Yeah, I'm where everybody else. You got to pick Deep Blue Sea on this one. And Infested, I don't think I finished that movie yet because that's one of those ones where like,
see,
like, hey, look, no, but it's because like Christy was watching it, right? And then I came in, I was like watching some of it, but then I think I had to go to work or something, so I haven't got a chance to finish it. I liked it, I just never went back to it. But I mean, even like Kay said, even if it was good, like it's going up against Deep Blue Sea. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be hard to beat it. And then the Samuel death scene, that's one of like the greatest like shock moments where you just like didn't even see that shit coming.
Historical moment.
It's up there with the mother effing snakes on that mother effing plane. It's up there with the Samuel great lines of the centuries. Like it's up there.
Well, he said we're gonna band together, and then the shark just y'all ain't banding together, nigga. Not on my watch. But of course, I obviously know. First of all, Deep Blue Sea is one of the greatest movies ever. I don't care. I love that movie. But I put Infested up just because I want to Infested to get some shine. We got black folks starring in a creature feature horror movie. And it's actually a really good movie. But I know ain't nobody picking it over Deep Blue Sea. But I just wanted to give it some shine if anybody hasn't seen it or even known it was out. Now I don't know if anybody saw these black folks in sci-fi, Black Box and Cloverfield Paradox. Did you see this, AJ?
Yeah, I've seen the Paradox one, but I haven't seen Black Box before though.
Okay, you should check out Black Box. I think Cloverfield Paradox is better, but Black Box, we don't get too many black folks in sci-fi. But what did you think about Cloverfield Paradox?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. The Cloverfield aspect, honestly, to me, felt like it was tacked on as like an afterthought on the back end. But it's just like a sci-fi movie. Like I was with it. I liked it.
Kay, you saw both of these?
Absolutely. Actually, my favorite from the Cloverfield was 10 Cloverfield Lane. So although Cloverfield Paradox was good, it's the first one, the original movie, is the one I didn't like. The sequels just kept getting better. But so I really did like 10 Clover because it was so unexpected. But Cloverfield Paradox was actually a really good movie, and it did have that little, that tidbit at the end to kind of wrap it back around. But I like Black Box because, again, we don't really see us in these type movies to make us sit and watch a sci-fi and really sit and think about it. And highly underrated movie, so I'm gonna give it to Black Box.
Hey, is that the same dude from Archive 81?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Donna, did you see these?
So I saw the Cloverfield Paradox, and I liked it. I thought it was good. I haven't seen Black Box, so I have to put that on my list. Because
we got to give some shine to Black Box.
It sounds interesting. Yeah.
Tyra?
I'm going to go with Black Box. For, I guess, the opposite with you guys in Cloverfield Paradox, because I had seen, like, Kay, I really love Cloverfield Lane, and I was like, why is this name? It was tacked on, and that kind of distracted me from enjoying the movie like I possibly could have. I probably need to give it another chance, but I was just like, this isn't that. Could y'all have just named it? I didn't like that aspect, but I did really enjoy the psychological science fiction type situation with Black Box, and I really like Archive 81 too. So I'm going to go with Black Box.
Yeah, I just want more people to I don't think anyone ever talks about Black Box, and we don't have too many black folks in sci-fi. But that was our horror versus game for this evening. So let's get into our Demon Knight discussion. Donna, why do you think Demon Knight is a horror masterpiece? Or do you think it's a horror masterpiece? I mean, it is, but I'm gonna give you a little leeway. Maybe you think it ain't. But I mean, like, I know it is, but what you think, Donna?
So I do think it's a horror masterpiece, simply because you have that horror trope of people being holed up in a situation, but the situation is entirely different. It's like the fate of all mankind is resting on these people. And Ernest Dickerson really did his thing with this film. I mean, he made it scary. He made it funny. He made you root for the hero that we get. I think the only thing that hurts Demon Knight is that they tacked on that Tales from the Crypt. I feel like if Demon Knight was a standalone film, it could have just been its own franchise. The Tales from the Crypt didn't really help it. I feel like that hurt the movie. I don't think a lot of people really went to see it because they were expecting it to be like the show. But it's a horror masterpiece for me because we get a final girl that looks like us, and we get to see not everybody that's a final girl is virginal. They're not always a good person, from the get-go. Geraldine is a criminal, but she does the right thing, and she ends up being the protector of the world. So to me, it is a horror masterpiece. It's got gore, it's got laughs, it's got everything that we want, and then we get to see somebody survive who looks like us and is now the savior of everybody.
Yeah, in so many ways, I feel like Demon Knight was ahead of his time. Like, we're going to get into the diversity later, but with Geraldine as the final girl, she goes against everything when it comes to a final girl. First of all, she's not white. She's not virginal. Like you said, she's a criminal. Like, it's so many things where it's not the typical final girl that you would see. That's why I'm like, you probably would have got Claudia getting her redemption arc from prostitute to final girl. That's what I was like. Y'all was gonna kill Geraldine off, child. Kay.
I didn't know that people was not feel who ain't like this movie.
This movie did poor. Okay, it did not
Oh,
perform well.
in my mind, it did good. I thought everybody had really liked this movie. In my
No.
mind, this was fire right here. I mean, how can you not? Like, she outsmarted like the demon devil himself. Like that end part, like her holding that stuff in her mouth, very creative. Because everybody knew she was just not gonna make it because we're not used to seeing that, and she was not your typical. This is the typical protagonist. Like, we
Yeah.
didn't see her as winning. She wasn't even trying to be a hero at that point. She really wasn't. And so I didn't know people wasn't feeling this. I watched this movie a lot growing up. So I didn't know y'all was like, you're trashing it like that. So no, this is a masterpiece for me.
Tyra.
Definitely a masterpiece. Child, is on the wall. It made the wall, okay? It made the wall. Anything that makes the wall is a masterpiece. I love this movie. I am indifferent from Donna with the Tales from the Crypt aspect because I was such a fan of Tales from the Crypt. And this just feels like one long Tales from the Crypt-esque episode. And it's the best that you get with anthology shows like Tales from the Crypt just wrapped into one movie. You're gonna get some crude humor. You're gonna get some sex, some nudity. We gotta show some titties, okay? we have to have some graphic, titties out. It's gonna be gory and campy and just really comical and over the top. And I think it just encapsulates all of that. And preparing for this, I was just looking. I was like, if I could just find one piece of an article where Jada maybe mentions Demon Knight. No, I don't think it gets any praise. Just like having a Black director with Ernest Dickerson, who also did Bones. Like, it deserves a lot more praise, but I don't think anyone talks about it, especially Jada. Like, she's never said hey, why am I not mentioned as a Black horror final girl? I am that. I am one of those in a major way. But I think these are unlike now when stars were getting their foot in the door and before they were famous type of situations, and I did those low level type of horror movies, and they act like it's something to be ashamed of or forgotten. It wasn't my best work. I think Jada did an excellent job here, and this is something I know her for, right along with stuff like Set It Off and anything. And I did love the fact that she wasn't your typical virginal white final girl. Like, she was like she was out she was out on a work release program. Only person Geraldine was trying to save was that cat. Like, I'm not a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. I just want to get my cat Cleo and be on my way. I love that. I wished it got a little bit more praise than it does, and not even just focus on Jada. But Billy Zane has always been one of my favorites. I just knew, like, after something like Titanic, Billy Zane would pop off in a major way, and he just didn't. And now he's kind of like in all of these B horror movies. You just happen to see him pop up, but he's phenomenal here. He is a character. He's an animation as far as I'm concerned. I love it, and the graphics are really, really good. Also, they still held up even now. Just watching it today, I was like, this still looks good. I love this movie.
AJ.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. I do think it's a horror masterpiece. One of the big things with this is it really subverts your expectations, right? Like, if you don't know nothing about this movie and you're fresh going in, like, when you're viewing it, you really don't know what to expect. You really don't know who's the protagonist, who's the antagonist, how things are going to play out, and how the story unfolds. I think it's paced really well. It's got all of it hits all the traditional horror movie marks. It's got the creepiness, it's got the scares, it's got the gore, it's got the sex and the nudity. It's got the the comedy elements and the crude comedy elements. Like, it's firing on all cylinders. And then just the overall story and premise I thought was super dope. Like, some of the flashbacks that we see with like Christ and stuff like that. Like, everything about it, I was like, damn, this is just a dope ass concept. But yeah, I definitely think this is up there as a horror masterpiece, and everything does hold up. I rewatched it today too. And I was like, this is just a good movie. Like, it's a good time. It's definitely rewatchable as well. Like, and even, like you say, even the effects hold up really well with this film. I think, I don't know who mentioned it. I don't know if it was you, Donna, who mentioned it, talking about the Tales from the Crypt aspect. That's kind of interesting. I never really thought about that in terms of like its success. Like, if it wasn't really touted as a Tales from the Crypt movie. And now you got me thinking about it. It's like, man, if this really was separated from Tales from the Crypt, I feel like it might actually, be looked at as something bigger than what it is. Especially because you said people don't really bring it up like that. But yeah, this is a dope movie, Demon Knight.
And that's so interesting to me because I love the Tales from the Crypt part. Even the beginning, we're gonna spend all his money, and she naked in the mirror with her husband in the acid. I love the whole "you ain't no Robert Redford." Like, I don't know, I like the whole Tales from the Crypt aspect of it. And one of the reasons why I feel like this is such a masterpiece is I feel like Demon Knight has so many elements that I feel make a perfect horror movie. The score, I love the freaking music in this movie. The violence, nudity, gore, the lore, the tension. Kay, what do you think are the elements that are most important to a perfect horror movie?
So any perfect horror movie?
Yeah, just in general. Like, what are the things that are must needs when it comes to a perfect horror movie?
I need the tension and the suspense. Like, I have to feel like I have anxiety just like them. Like, I need my heart to be pacing. I need a high kill count. Okay, I don't need would y'all just kill one or two people and then it's off screen? That ain't enough for me. I need a kill count. Now, I mean, it's okay if there's not as much gore as long as there's a kill count there. I just need some people being off. That's what I'm watching it for. I love a good score because John Carpenter set a really good tone for that. So I need it to sound like a good movie. I need it to sound like one. I need there to actually be some good acting because if it's bad acting, I'm not convinced enough to be scared. Like, if you can't act, I'm not afraid. Your acting needs to make me afraid. So at the end of the day, I need to be somewhat afraid.
Tyra?
All of this here and characters, I need to be invested in the characters. I need to care about them and whatever they are trying to accomplish. And we have what is it? William, I think it's William Sadler here as the lead. I was really invested in him in his journey and how long he had been on the earth, and that, that also goes for Jada, just that lure of passing this along. I came here, like, he had a mission, and you were really, really invested in it. And I also like movies that, I don't know, I guess it's played out to have the stereotypical staple characters, but they're here. You have this small, isolated town. You have your town drunk. You have your Jezebel. You have your a-hole who's going to mess up everything and jeopardize everybody's life being, selfish. You have every single element here. And like you said, like, music is really, really important. The score, the soundtrack here, there's a lot of, like, Metallica and Pantera. I love me some heavy metal, y'all. A lot of that is here. It's just really, really concise from start to finish. And the acting, everybody was good here. Every single person. The kids always, push it for me, the little blonde kid. But they took him out. I love for them to kill a kid in the movie. But every bit of acting here from everybody was just really, really good. And I just loved, I'm a Tales from the Crypt kid. And I remember William Sadler being... in that one of the first episodes I seen from Tales from the Crypt, and he was the person who pulled the lever when anybody was being electrocuted. I love that episode. And just like horror staples here, like him being here or being in something like Disturbing Behavior. Then you have CCH Pounder, and it makes me think of which one of them psychos she was in, and she was working at the radio station and he was calling in. Like, it's just certain people here that I'm just like, oh, it's a nice community of horror here.
It's funny you mentioned that kid. I swear he is the only person in the movie that can't act. Like, that kid kind of got the man. He came back. He killed my parents. I'm like, little boy, if
he was pushing it. He was pushing it. Everybody else was up the par.
And when he look in the magazine, his eyes get big. I'm like, baby, I don't believe you. But you know what? A for effort. Donna.
I agree with everything that both of these ladies have just stated. A big thing for me with horror movies is the pacing. If the pacing is too slow, I'm going to fall off. In a Violent Nature is a great movie. They have a great premise, but the pacing in that movie didn't really keep me. So if it's not paced well, if the story isn't moving well, If it's not a good story, it needs to be a great story. Those things matter. And yeah, you got to have good actors because that kid sucked. I mean, he was awful.
I'm sorry, little boy, wherever you at.
It's a grown man now. You sucked. Okay, do better.
And it's interesting when you talk about the pacing, because one pushback that I always get when I'm like, oh, like, y'all know I be quick to cut a movie off and say it's boring. And people are always like, well, they got to introduce the characters and set up the story. Well, duh, but it shouldn't be boring. Like, we start this movie off, if you take out the Crypt Keeper stuff and just the Demon Knight story, we start off with action with the car crash. But even when we are just getting introduced to the characters, it's enjoyable. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh God, okay, we got to just go through the proverbial characters. Like, I like the whole meeting and the conversations, and look at God. I guess he should have gave it all to the monkeys when he runs into the drunk. I think all of it works really well, and it starts and never really truly like lets up. Like, it just keeps going. AJ.
Yeah, I feel like a majority of what makes a good horror movie is what makes any movie good. You got to have a good story, good writing, good characters, good audio, good score. And because even horror movies that don't really have like a lot of violence or nudity or gore, like they can still be really good. But I would say it's more specific to horror movies. You got to have good atmosphere, good tension. I agree with the pacing as well. And then one big thing for me when it comes to horror movies is you got to have a good opening scene. Like, you got to have an opening scene that really like hooks people and sets the stage for like what's to come. And I feel like all those things make up a good horror movie.
Yeah, I love this open. I wish I would have met you. Whatever that song is. I love how this movie opens with that song. Look, don't pick on my singing, okay? But even like AJ said, something that's important is a story. And one thing that I actually usually really dislike is like the flashbacks and the backstory, because it can feel too convoluted. But I actually feel like it worked well here. Like, I love how they even put it in where we try to get in the tunnel and Roaches is, hitting with the sledgehammer. And as it's banging, it's taking Breaker back to, Christ getting nailed. And then we flash back. So I think it worked well, but I've heard some people say like, oh, it didn't make any sense, the whole backstory, and then it was too much and they was trying to, tell too many stories. I really disagree with that. But what do you think, Donna, with the story versus the backstory in Demon Knight?
I mean, I think we need the backstory. It helps fill in the gaps without making it too long. You get to see the parts that you need to see, and then Breaker fills us in on the rest. But I don't think that it takes away from the movie. I think it adds to the movie. It gives us some kind of context as to what this man has been through and what we're going to be finding out later on. When he gives that explanation of the exposition of what he is and what he's been doing, I think we need that. We would be kind of missing it if he just told us that without us seeing it.
Yeah, and that's why I think it works here, because it's, show don't tell, and it plays into the character. We got Breaker, the weary, traveler, the lone hero. Tyra.
I loved it. I love this. Just had the potential to go on. We could at least got a sequel out of this. This is something, one of those, I'm passing it on to you. The same thing it was passed on. You can go. Jada could have passed it on to someone else. Like, this had the potential to go far. I really like the flashbacks. And I like the fact that we don't really linger in them. They give us just enough. They give us just enough. And then we get back to the story. But we're informed enough to know about his journey and why it's so important. But we couldn't just jump into this and maybe just have exposition. I guess him just kind of speaking. It helps to give, that visual and go back to it, to go like, oh, we going all the way back to Jesus. we go all the way back there to Jesus. Like, it just goes, it feeds into the lore of the story and just how important it is. It's like, no, we're not just trying to save me. We're trying to save all mankind. We always trying to save the world. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, and that's what the backstory adds. It's telling us the stakes. It's telling it's not just us in this, hotel church thing that's at risk. Like the stake is the whole world will be plunged into darkness, just like that. And I feel like that's something that can. The new movie, I don't know if anyone saw Monkey Man that came out this year, but that's one thing that killed that movie is the constant flashbacks. First of all, it messed up the pace. It just suddenly we're in a flashback. It felt odd, and it was way too many unnecessary flashbacks. But it's funny to me when I hear that criticism about Demon Knight. But what do you think, AJ?
No, I think the story was great here, and I think it was told really well, too. And I think the flashbacks worked. They weren't like too long, and they came at points that made sense. Like, and I like how they used like different things that were happening around him to like trigger the flashback memory. I thought that was just a great way to bring in that added context. But to me, everything worked, even when he was given some exposition explaining what happened. I thought it was perfectly told because it's like we're sitting in that group also listening to what he's telling the group. Like to me, it just worked perfectly. So I'm surprised there's criticism with like does the backstory work and like how it was told with flashbacks and stuff like that, because I thought like everything was done real well. It never felt like something was going on too long or like out of place. I felt like they wrote it and filmed it almost spot on, and the story is dope. Like that whole concept, and I think it added that extra. I think it's what you said, Nikki. Like the stakes, right? Like it let us know, like okay, this is much more than just everybody in this room. This is a whole Earth universal stakes. Like we gotta think beyond just like our own lives within this, and then also just knowing how far back this started. You know what I'm saying? Also back to like cosmic being type of stuff. Like the story and backstory work perfect.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Along with what everybody else said, the ending meant so much more because of the backstory. It made the ending to where we wanted a sequel. We needed that ending where old buddy was just like, nah, I'll wait for the next one. Without that backstory, we would have been like, why he don't want to get on the bus? Like, what's the problem? So it made that last final scene so much more fulfilling.
Yeah, I can just go on and on about freaking Demon Knight. I thought the story was really perfect. And even when people get into, it didn't make sense, everything made sense. Everything was perfect. Everything was right. And if you think different, then just, shut the hell up. But we spoke a little bit about the opening sequence when we were talking about the elements that make a good horror movie. But that's one thing that is so big for me is, I'm sorry, your movie needs to grab me in the opening sequence. Like it needs to hook me. And that's something else where I feel like music really makes a scene. I love the whole opening scene, the music, the whole playing chicken, Breaker not being able to get out the car as the collector is coming for him. Tyra, did the opening scene really hook you? Did they get you immediately? Or was this the type of movie where like the first act doesn't really have you, but you eventually get into it?
I'll say the opening because I can't go with the opening scene because I know you love because technically the opening scene is
the Crypt Keeper.
Is the creeper in that fake out of of them recording an episode of Tales from the Crypt. So that's always like it was always so disjointed to me. That's one of those things I really wish wasn't there.
And I love that part.
That's always been
that, Jack.
That's always been, something that I just really wish, like, can we just get, because, if movie watchers are really fickle, and if somebody sees like that, those are some of the things, getting back into what Donna said about it being attached to the Tales from the Crypt franchise, and it's more of that campy, funny undertone type situation, and it does start off really like a Tales from the Crypt-esque episode, and that's something that could deter a potential person who's like, what the heck? Like, man, cut it off. So let's just start off with that opening car chase. But if I'm skipping that and just doing the opening scene with the car, then I can say that yes, it does grip you right away, and you're pulled into Breaker and his mission. But yeah, they should have left the creeper on the ground for that. We need that.
Okay, did the Crypt Keeper opening get you, or did the Demon Knight opening get you?
Oh, they had me at the Crypt Keeper. Like that was my opening
You
scene.
know what? I can always rely on Kay to know what the hell she talking about.
Like Tales from the Crypt. That's all I needed to see. I didn't even care what the movie was going to be about after that. You gave me the Crypt Keeper. He's going to give me something good. Y'all had me at him at the beginning.
And what about the Demon Knight opening sequence?
I mean, yeah, I guess, it set the tone, but I mean, I was going to watch it anyway. I mean, it was like I wasn't wowed by it, that didn't like be the thing that it was gonna like make or break me. But I was gonna watch this one anyways because it was Tales from the Crypt. So I like that part of it. That made me just say, I'm watching a movie from Tales from the Crypt. He gonna introduce something that's real good. I like the comic book entry of things and animation of it all. So that was my opening sequence.
Donna.
I like the opening sequence with the Demon Knight movie, just with them with the car chase. It was a lot more interesting, and it made me wonder what the heck was going on between these two people. Like, who's the good person, who's the bad person, what's going on? So yeah, I had to skip the Crypt Keeper part and go straight to the movie. Yeah.
Dang, Donna, you're a hater like Tyra. I love how the Crypt Keeper comes in and like you have the.
I don't hate it. It's
the Crypt Keeper comes in and he's like, I call this one Demon Knight. Then the music cues in and you see them racing in the car and Breaker looking in that rear view. You need the Crypt Keeper.
Y'all don't like his voice and his little laugh? Like that ain't do it for y'all.
No, I love him in the show, but just for the sense of this movie, if he would have just opened and like, no, we didn't need the I don't want to see titties and it's been on for 30 seconds. Okay, that's a little too soon for me. And the naked lady in the tub and the fake out, it's a little too early. I didn't need that.
Well, they had to do something to ease the white men for it because they knew it was going to be a black final girl. They had to do something to pull the white men in to make them stay.
I would love a naked woman in the dark.
I do. Not 30 seconds. It was 20 seconds.
We had to get it over with.
She got rules to the nudity. So it can't be too early.
There's rules to the nudity. AJ, did the Tales from the Crypt opening see you, or did the actual Demon Knight car chase opening hook you?
I think both worked. I honestly like both. I thought the Crypt Keeper opening was, since this is a Tales from the Crypt film, like the Crypt Keeper sequence I thought was dope. Like the whole, concept of like starting with, this woman about to be killed in the bathtub, then you pull back and it's a movie being filmed, and then, the Crypt Keeper pulling up, yelling cut, and, going off talking about, filming movies and shit. Like it worked for me. And then the actual like opening sequence for the Demon Knight part, I thought was dope too. It's a strong opening. You starting with action. You starting with two characters, and you can't even really tell like who's bad and who's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really tell what's going on other than like this person being chased. But as the story unfolds as you watch it, everything played out perfect. Like, but I'm cool with both openings. Like, they work for me.
See, AJ got sense too. And when we come into like our cast of characters and we have the villain versus the hero equals a final girl, and one thing that really can turn me off from a movie is characters that I hate. But I feel like with Demon Knight, it's all about character. Like, I feel like this was such a great, even the like quote unquote unlikable character Roach, everyone really comes together and everyone is enjoyable. And actually, I was rewatching it earlier today, and it's some stuff that Roach says when action is happening, and I'm like, I don't think I caught that before. That was kind of funny. But oh man, CCH Powder as Irene, one of my favorites. But when we get into the villain, the hero, the final girl, I feel like Demon Knight kind of does what I feel Alien did, in the sense of off rip, you don't know that Ripley is the focal or is going to be the final girl. Like, we have this whole crew and you can't really tell who's the star. And of course, with Demon Knight, we know that William Sadler is, the hero protecting, the whole key. But when we get into our whole cast, you have no idea who's surviving, who is going to be about, who's making it out in the end. So I love that whole aspect of it. Donna, how did you feel about the characters and the villain and hero and everyone?
I mean, I really like that they had such a diverse group of people at this boarding house, and everybody had something unique about them to bring to the table. Everybody had something to add, how to survive the night, to get through the night. Um, we get to see people of all walks of life. I can't remember the woman who was with the guy. They were in the bedroom having sex.
Cordelia.
But it's like she just Cordelia was so sad, and you could see these different people getting tempted by the demon because we get to see a little bit more about them. So to me, it was interesting. We got to see all walks of life. We got to see people who we wouldn't think would be heroic. Like you said, CCH Pounder Irene, she's like one of the best characters in this film. Absolutely love her. And even Breaker and Jerry Lynn and the Demon, they were just fantastic characters to watch. Not a dull moment with anybody in this movie.
And one thing I love with these characters is I feel like, for me, no one does anything like stupid. Like, you know how you have horror characters that will just do something so dumb, you just roll your eyes. Even when they decide to go in the tunnel against Breaker, I don't think that was stupid. It was just, we don't really know what we're dealing with. But I think maybe the dumbest was Roach trying to, this is for 4 years of minimum wage. Like that was probably the only, but I don't think anyone did anything that is the typical character does something stupid in a horror movie. Kay.
Oh yeah, it was almost like a survival story. Like how are all of these people going to behave surviving in this situation? Where we know people are getting picked off, but also people are being tempted, people are being possessed. They're meeting strangers. So I like the aspect, like, how are these people going to change and evolve in a situation that they've never encountered to survive? And I like how they played that in that manner of you wanted to see that though. We wanted to see what was going to happen to everybody. We actually wanted the demon to mess with some people so we could actually see what he could do to some of these people and who was going to fall for it and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm. AJ.
Yeah, I feel like all the characters were written really well. And to a lot of people's points, like, you couldn't really tell who was going to be kind of the one making it out. Now I will counter Nikki that I did think there's some stupid decisions in this. Like, how did Roach think that old boy was just gonna let him walk away scot-free? Like, come on now. Like, this dude basically like the devil. Like, that shit ain't gonna happen. And then I will say, like, okay, like, let's be real, right? If something's going down with demons, right, and then there's only one dude in here that seems to know like how to deal with them. If he's telling me all we gotta do is survive to sun up, I'm like, all right, like, hey, seal it off with the blood. We gonna chill right here. Ain't nobody going nowhere. Like, that makes sense to me, but I get you got to have a movie. But no, I thought all the characters were written really well. The dialogue, the stuff they were saying, how we learn about them over the course of the movie in different like circumstances. Like, even when old dude was talking about like, oh yeah, I used to work in these mines or whatever. We get information through the actual story about these characters as it goes along. But I think all the characters worked in this movie.
Yeah, I think even to this day, like in 2024, all these years later, I actually think this dialogue is so sharp. Like, it was a lot of moments where I'm like, this is actually really good. Like, every character had moments to shine. It's a lot of quotables in this movie. I was talking about the cat. Like, the whole little thing that they do in there. Tyra.
I mean, I like the characters. I've always been here for Billy Zane. I showed up for Billy. I stayed for Billy. I come back for Billy. Like, I don't show up here for nobody else. The characters are great. That's not to say that anybody is bad. Like I said, everybody plays their role very, very well. Even the saving nerdy heart guy who just wants the hoe to love him. Like, boy, sit down. um, everybody plays a role here, but nobody plays a role like Billy Zane. Like, he's so fun. He's so fun from the moment that we meet him, even though this is so serious and he's, it's very muhahaha world domination. It's like, yeah, I'm going to have a good time while I'm doing it. Even in the moments where he is trying to convince somebody to let him in, all of them are pretty, cheeky and funny. But when he's trying to get at Cordelia and the tear and the lighting, and I was like, oh, that was a nice shot. Who did that? It was a nice shot. Like, it looks good. He's just everything that I want in a campy, dark humor type of. And I've been seeing that, I think, in the comments. Like, I just wish that there wasn't so much comedy. I think that's the pushback that a lot of people have with this film. Like, oh, it's just too much comedy. Like, it was too campy. It was too. That's what this is. That's what it's intended to be. That's why I'm not understanding why people put that up against, just to go like, you know what, I'm not really feeling the movie because of that reason. Not everything is meant to be a serious horror, and as far as like campy horrors go, this is perfect. I don't see anything wrong with it, but Billy was perfection, and I would love to see him revitalize this role if possible.
And that's so interesting, because that's something me and Tyra talk about, is the fact that she loves her 80s horror and I don't like 80s horror. I don't like campy and I don't like comedy, but that actually works here for me. Like, I don't agree with if it wasn't funny, or if I actually think it's a great mix. Like, it works great. I actually feel like
all you had to do was open the goddamn door. Like, it's funny. Give me the key. Like, it's funny. It works here. It works.
I'm sick of this cowboy. Hold up. Like, and I feel like that actually makes Billy Zane scarier for me, the collector. When you can be kind of like funny and act like you're having fun, like killing people. I don't know.
Yeah, the ending. I forgot about the ending when he's like, Geraldine, do you think you could ever me? Like, it's funny to me.
He was like whimsical, like like that was fun. I guess, especially watching it so young, he was fun. This was an attractable movie to watch. So I don't understand the disdain for this.
And I think Billy was fine. Billy was fine. Hello.
And I think the comedy works too, because it's like believable to what the character, like how the characters are. Like, it fits like who the characters are. It doesn't feel like out of place, and it feels normal, like it makes sense, and it's not like that like slapstick style or anything like that. Like, it just feels like just genuine good jokes or good comedy. Like, it doesn't feel extra,
right? Like, it feels authentic to the situation. Like AJ said, even when Cordelia is outside, when Roach wants to run for the truck and the demon gets her and she punches him and she's like, I'm sorry. Like, that's comical, but it feels like a real, like, oh shoot, I shouldn't hit this demon. Like, it all feels authentic. And like AJ said, like, it doesn't feel out of place in any way to me. I think the comedy works. And I'm a comedy and horror hater. I hate comedy and horror, but I feel like it works here. But is everybody's favorite character, like, does anybody have a favorite character that's not Billy Zane's collector? Dang, everybody character is Billy Zane.
I did like Breaker. I enjoyed Breaker. I did, like, I wanted CCH Pounder to go. Like, she technically did go out on her own merit, but I've just had my feel of, you guys go on. I got it. Like, why we always got to take it? Why she couldn't give it to the officer and he could have had it and he could have put that? Why we both had to stay down here and die? What purpose was that serving? Like,
see, that's why they kind of mess with the sacrificial Negro trope a bit, because we got the white person sacrificing too. Like, it ain't her by herself.
Now, Ernest said we ain't doing that here. That's why we had a black final girl.
But speaking of Irene, of course, Geraldine is the one who survives the night. But who should have survived the night other than Geraldine? And for me, it is CCH Powder Irene. I love Irene's character so much. She had such attitude. She was strong. She took charge. She didn't fall for the devil's temptation. Is that a yes? No, that's me giving you the finger. Like, I love her so freaking much. AJ, who do you think should have survived the night outside of Geraldine?
Yeah, my answer would have been Irene as well, and that was funny too, because like with everybody else, he was really trying hard. Like he did that one little bit, and he's like, oh yeah, nah, this shit ain't gonna work on her. But yeah, she brought some comedic relief to it, and I felt like her character was also written really well. Like she had that like mom, that mom figure type of dialogue and this aura. So I was hoping that she would make it all the way, but I did like the fact she went out on her own merit, like she chose to do that. And honestly, I did low key think that Breaker was gonna make it until we kind of understand how the whole transfer shit works. But other than that, I can't think of nobody else. I honestly thought everybody else was gonna go off rip.
And Irene was very much a mom. I'm gonna watch you do it. You gonna get it right the first time. My way or the highway.
Yep.
Donna, who do you think should have survived the night outside of Geraldine?
Yeah, I agree with both of you, Irene, because she was a tough broad, and even without an arm, she was still commanding and just a force. She really should have survived.
And she was willing to have the heart, even when Breaker is first messed up and he drops the key when she get her arm taken. Like she didn't hesitate to jump up. But does anybody have someone that they would have liked see survive that ain't Miss Irene?
All of them needed to go. We didn't need that. Everybody needed to go. Like no, down to that kid.
What about Uncle Willie?
Uncle Willie needed to go. All he wanted was a drink. He didn't care about the people. He was trying to get a drink. No, nobody.
I did think Danny was gonna make it. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know he was gonna take out a kid. I did think Danny was gonna make it through.
Take that kid.
That was shocking. For the time this came out, horror wasn't really killing kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's the one we all want to live is Irene. But when it comes to diversity, I feel like y'all know we've been talking about diversity about every episode of Killer Con because it just irked my soul. That I feel like Hollywood's idea of diversity, especially nowadays, and literally every time I watch a new horror movie, I message Kay and I say it's an interracial couple. It's another interracial couple. It's like that's their form of diversity. We're going to get one DEI hire. So we got one black person here, but it's going to be an interracial couple. So it's still a white cast, but we're just throwing in one black person. But I feel like this is how you do diversity. First of all, it's not just one token black person and not even just racially. Like, I think it was Tyra who said earlier, you got the Jezebel character, you got the drunk, you got Miss Irene, who we know a little bit that, her husband has passed and now she's taking over this place. And we got the lone traveler with, Breaker. But the diversity that I love is that white folks died first, second, I think maybe even third. Like white folks was dying. Okay, y'all need to die. Y'all need to be the expendable characters for once. AJ, how do you feel about the diversity with Demon Knight? And why do you think like a movie that came out in the 90s had better diversity than we're getting now?
Yeah, I will agree that the diversity in this movie is on point. Like even to like how the like black characters are written. Like I love the dialogue in this movie. And then like to your point too, like white people dying first. Obviously the black final girl. Like the diversity felt believable. It felt realistic. Like and then also another big thing too. This kind of ties in with diversity, is the fact that we have a black lead in this film, and like the film isn't tied around something related to like the fact that they're black or like racism or anything like that. Like it's just like it's a demon trying to get into a building like type of creature feature type film, and I like that aspect of the diversity. And to be honest, I couldn't really tell you why this film, for the time that it was made, why like they were able to, I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know, like who all was involved in the writing beyond Ernest Dickerson making the film, but I'm sure it had a lot to do with those people involved. And I don't know how much this film cost to make. It didn't look like it was too expensive, but I'd be curious to see how much like the budget was, and if the studios behind it being open to the idea of making a movie like this. It is a little surprising, but they was able to pull it off.
Okay.
Uh, Again, that's another reason why I didn't understand why people didn't like it, because of the diverse cast. And it wasn't, we didn't even, because I'm a root for anybody black anyway, but that doesn't mean it was like a black movie. We didn't get standard, like the reason why these people died wasn't because of racism and stuff. Like it was just like a group of people that were diverse. It didn't have anything to do with their dying because of this is what they look like. And you could watch this movie and not think about discrimination, racism, trauma, any of that.
Donna.
So to kind of piggyback on what AJ said, the budget for this film was 12 million. It made like 21 million. So it made its money back. It's diverse, but kind of like what Kay said, it's not like, every person in this movie is black. However, I think it really stems because of Ernest Dickerson and his vision. The studio actually wanted him to cast, I think, Cameron Diaz in this role, which I can't even imagine. But for him to have to proactively say, no, I want a black lead for this role, and getting it, I think that's what makes this movie so special and so rare. We needed a black director to voice, no, we already had white final girls. We need somebody different. We need this to speak to everybody, but especially to black women, who are almost always the savior of everybody's world in some way. So I love this film. And I don't know why we don't go forward with this and have more black final girls, or why we're not as diverse. But I think the director, whoever is the director, they speak volumes of what they want their art to be. And I think Ernest Dickerson did that. And that's why this movie is such a masterpiece.
Talk about terrible casting. Cameron Diaz as Geraldine. And I love Cameron Diaz.
That's
actually.
insane.
Yeah, that is terrible freaking casting. Tyra.
It's the same. That's one of the things that still, because we watching this when we're younger, we're not looking at things. I was watching looking at the credits, and I think the casting director was a black woman, and I'm sure they were brought on by Ernest Dickerson as well. And I think it was just the right people in the right positions at the right time, and it was more of not only being selective and diverse in choice, but getting who they felt, was right for these roles. Like anybody, which I love, like we said, anyone could have played Geraldine. It wasn't just based, or surrounded by her race, and that could go for CCH Pounder or anybody else here. Anybody could have played, Billy Zane's character or William Slater. I think they were just casting who was really great for the roles. But with Ernest Dickerson's background in mostly black film, your Juice, Blind Faith, Bones, I'm sure he was like, yeah, we gonna hire a sister. we're gonna do this. And I think it was just that the right people behind the camera, and so often we just don't have those type of people behind there, let alone black people behind the camera.
Right. I don't understand why, we didn't move forward with this type of diverse casting. Like, even anytime I see a horror movie and it's like one black person, I'm like, now why is it only one? Like, even with Abigail, we got 3 white men. We couldn't throw another nigga in there. Like, I don't know why we do stuff like that. Why is it only one? What was the best kill scene in the movie? This is the type of movie that just warmed my young heart. Like, this is the type of movie I live for, with all the gore. And my personal favorite kill is Billy Zane, the collector, when Geraldine gets him and his whole body just kind of melts and then he turned into that big creature. But AJ, what was your favorite kill scene in the movie?
One of the scenes I really liked, and I thought the effects were done really good, is when right in the beginning when Billy Zane, the collector, punched his fist right through that cop's face. Like, that effect, even to this day, looks really good. And then I kind of like the comedic aspect to it, where he just kind of trying to get this dude's head off his arm. Like, I think it not only did it like show just how powerful this dude is, but then also like it kind of showed like it had a little bit of that slapstick comedy, but it fit the character, like I said earlier, with him being this like powerful demon. But yeah, then he ripped dude's head off. The effects, like that effects on that whole sequence was just dope.
Yeah, and that speaks to when you said the comedy is natural. Because if you punch through somebody's head, you know it might not be easy to get your hand out. Kay.
Oh, definitely the last scene, like I mentioned earlier, because we as the watchers, we didn't know she had that stuff in her mouth, so we thought that she was about to be out of here. But when she spit that stuff at him and took him out, just like, and it wasn't like she didn't shoot him, she didn't like behead him, she didn't like burn him alive. Like she just spit that stuff out at him, and like that was it.
And I like that Geraldine had to really fight for her survival because her first idea was to cover her body in the blood, and that didn't work. He washed her off, so she had to figure out another way to survive and think quick. Tyra.
I'll say Cordelia when she's transferred. I love the dimension that we get of demons here. It's not all just one note. The face stretching and the tongue and I love some good graphics and some gore and some body horror. That and just getting different, because I think Cordelia's is the first kill where we see the length of what the demons could look like, and we just get so much variation from there. So it's definitely Cordelia's attack and kill at the same time.
Donna.
So yeah, I like the one that AJ said at the beginning where he punched through the sheriff's head. But I also like when they have to take out Uncle Willie. His body is still trying to attack them, and they have to put the head on the antlers to take the eyes out. That was probably my second favorite thing in that.
Get the eyes. I heard that. Outside of a kill scene, just one of my favorite, or maybe my number one favorite scene in the movie. I don't know if it's surprising, but my favorite scene is when the demons are first born. When Billy Zane hops out the window and he's like, I hereby condemn this place or something like that, and he puts that green ooze down. The music in that scene, whatever that little singing and stuff they got going on, and they coming up out the ground and he kissed them and everybody's like, oh, they looking out. That's my favorite scene. Kay, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
And I know it's weird because of because it's like the end, but for some reason that end scene did it for me, because it made it, because think about it, the whole movie took place in this one area. So we wasn't really dealing with anybody outside. And so at the very end of the movie, she's washed off, she's clean, she's like, I'm going wherever I need to go, I'm out of here. But she's like, but let me, just in case this was not a fever dream, put a little bit right here in the doorway. And it made it so much real for me that she could see, like, okay, that, like, all of that was not a hallucination. All of this was real. And it wasn't just this one guy that was out here that I had to take down. There are more of them. There's a lot more going on. So just by that one guy looking like, oh no, I'm not, I'll wait, it made it seem like, okay, we ain't just in this little location anymore. We got a whole lot of demon fighting in the real world.
Tyra.
Probably the scene where he's trying to appeal to Geraldine to let him in, and just he's so smooth, he's so smooth. He's just so smooth. Just the transitions that they were able to do, because we are in that one location. So for just out of nowhere to be, silk flowy satin sheets, and it's just like you could be here. I could, if you just like, I just Billy's just smooth. So I just really like that scene. Yeah.
Donna.
Oh man, you would give that key up real quick. I can see that you would just give that key right up.
I would just take it.
I mean, he's charming. Who wouldn't? My favorite scene is when Irene gives the collector the finger. When he brings her arm up there, and then she like giving you the finger.
AJ.
I'm with Tyra. My favorite scene was actually the scene where the collector tried to seduce Geraldine. That transition is fire. Like, she was looking under the bed, and then as it pulls up, she transitions to this real nice looking condo penthouse type thing. And then just like how the rest of the sequence played out, it was just a beautifully shot sequence. Like the way stuff was flowing, you know, they used all these like white colors to seem like premium and luxurious. Like, look at this lifestyle. The painting of her, and then like, you know, as he's talking about like how it could be if you choose the wrong thing, like the hands and the blood, and then she sees that vision of Breaker just being eaten by all the demons. That was a great gore moment. Like the way that whole sequence played out was just dope.
And I like how they did it where after she comes out, we don't know if she said yes or no. And the way they kind of had her facial expression when I first saw the movie as a kid, I was like, is she a demon? And then even transitioning that into when Breaker gets attacked, he's like, Geraldine, help. And she freezes because she's thinking about what he just told her. But one scene I'm surprised nobody said, which would be another one of my favorites, is when Cecil, which I know we always go against Black people sacrificing themselves, but when Irene pick up the grenades, like it's the heaviest thing in the world. She act like them grenades weighed a ton, and she put it on her neck. And the dramatics of how they did that. But when her and Deputy Bob, I love when he throw that gun down and they're about to blow themselves up, and she's like, supper time. I love that scene so much. Literally, my dogs eat twice a day. And every single day they eat, I say, supper time. I literally say that every single day. But I'm surprised nobody mentioned that.
Oh, them poor dogs. Not just supper time.
Like they can't get their bowl till they let me say that. We already know Kay loved that ending sequence. Did the ending sequence leave you satisfied, Kay? We already know is yes.
Yes, and I'm mad that there was no sequel because of it. Like how y'all set me up to know that there's a bigger fight out there and never give it to me.
Yeah.
AJ, how did you feel about the ending sequence?
Yeah, I thought the ending sequence was dope. The whole concept of her now having to, you know, carry this burden from Breaker. You know, she already got 1 star, you know, in the line. And then, you know, her being smart. She's a smart character. That's why she's dope. Like putting on the bus. Like honestly, I don't even think I would have thought of that. But her dropping it on the bus and then seeing old dude like and see, I kind of wondered, like, is that a whole different demon, or is that like, you know, Billy Zane's demon? I don't know. But just the whole idea that, okay, yeah, we could do a sequel. I thought that was dope.
I always thought it was a different demon. I always took it as there's a different person that protects the key, and there's a different person that goes after the key, and the battle just goes on forever. Tyra.
Most definitely, that was a different demon. It was giving, you know, pimp like, so nah, you know, I'm gonna take the next one. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go on. Yeah, she'd put the juju on the bus. I love the ending. Once, you know, that's once again the potential of more to come. Like there was, you know, set in motion for the sequence. I like that he walks off whistling the theme to Tales from the Crypt. I just liked it. Or then, you know, the Crypt, he had to come and pull the rose. It's like, y'all just they ain't want the movie to end. He had to, you know, pull that rose down there. They had to treat it as a Tales from the Crypt-esque type of episode where he opens and ends it as well. But it was that potential of like, oh, we're gonna get another movie, and we never did. And there was supposed to be one. There was supposed to be sequels here. We just didn't get them.
I think it's probably because the movie wasn't like a financial success.
Yeah.
Donna?
Yeah, I like the ending sequence. Just like AJ and Kay said, you know, her putting that blood on the doorstep of the bus. It shows us that she's already thinking. But I also like to think that Geraldine did all of the things she wanted to do. She left this town. She got to do whatever. I mean, she's essentially immortal, right? Pretty much, from what they said with Breaker and his age. So, you know, she's young. She's not even 30 at that point in her life. The sky's the limit at this point. Just make sure you mark all of the doors and windows wherever you go. It's good life. Not that hard.
And one thing I thought was really interesting and like could add to a sequel with how we ended is the fact that it kind of feels like if you're Geraldine, you're kind of thrust into this. You only have what you learned over the course of that night. Like she really, even when she goes to stab the collector in the eye, and he's like, "Oh, that only works on low level demons." I guess Breaker ain't have time to explain all that. Like, I got more questions, bro. Like, I gotta go off and protect the key for a few lifetimes. Like, I need you to kind of explain some more stuff to me. So I even like that aspect, because I feel like that's kind of scary. Like, you're just now thrust into this on your own. And speaking of which, we have mentioned, is would you guys be on board for a Demon Knight sequel? I feel like, and I need it in the right hands. I will say, as much as I love the Tales from the Crypt aspect, take that out and let it just be Demon Knight. Bring back Jada Pinkett, and I would play it like we did this one, where it starts off with a black collector, like how this one ends, and Jada Pinkett as Geraldine comes somewhere. I don't know how you would do an isolated location in modern times, but it can still be done. And we pass it on to someone else. I would very much be here for a sequel. Donna, are you here for a modern day Demon Knight sequel?
Oh, 100%. And not even a sequel. I feel like they could make this a series. You could see different time periods of different collectors and different people who are the keeper of the key. You could do it in different timelines, and it would be interesting to see how that plays out. But definitely Jada needs to come back. We need Ernest Dickerson back. We need to see more of what happened and more of what's to come and the higher stakes. I mean, we're already living in like a ghetto timeline. So I think a Demon Knight sequel would be really good right about now.
AJ.
Yeah, I definitely think we do need a sequel, and I agree with Donna. You can go two ways. You can either do a movie or do a series. I like the idea of doing a series where each episode is like a new keeper of the key. If they do a movie, I would like to see them also explore, more of this like demon side, because like you mentioned, Nikki, like he mentioned, oh, it only works on lower level demons. So now I'm like, okay, there's a hierarchy, there's a tier. Like, where's Lucifer in this dynamic? Like, they could do a whole thing with this. So I would love to see them like explore and dive deep into the lore, whether it be in a movie or a series format.
And that's interesting. I wouldn't be here for a series only because I don't want it to get too convoluted and drawn out. Like, I feel like if you're trying to stretch multiple episodes, but I get it if they follow different collectors, but I don't know. I need the time and care put into it to really tell each collector's story. But if they gave us 100 Scream movies, we could get multiple Demon Knights following different collectors, and every actor come back, pass it along, now you die, and come back and pass it along. Okay.
Absolutely, because it was an open-ended to let us know that there was more story. It wasn't like, okay, a solid movie, we closed it off, we don't need any more. They left it off because they know that there's more story to be told, but they have to get the original formula back. And I do need the Crypt Keeper at the beginning. I need him to be there. Like, that's what's gonna be like. I'm gonna watch it because he there. If he don't support it, then I'm gonna feel like it ain't worth it.
Look, me and you are the only ones that's gonna be here for the Crypt Keeper. But if we want it to be a success, we gotta take him out.
Well, the first one was successful apparently, and I watched and I loved it anyway. So I don't even care about the world. As long as it's good for me, he got to be there and bring me into it. Take me to the movie like you do everything else.
Hey, I think we live in a timeline right now where anthologies is winning, so I feel like they could bring back Tales from the Crypt. And
that's what I was about to say. Yeah. I think they should bring it back, and I want Mike Flanagan and Ernest Dickerson to work on it together. This is one of the few franchises, especially with old as it is, all of the key players, they're all still alive. Everybody's still here, and I think they could come back and play different roles, and we'll have Geraldine still be Geraldine and Jolene and do that. Like, I think it would be dope. We ain't gonna get there, but I could dream.
Yeah, facts.
And you know what? Maybe it would be fly to do maybe if they had multiple projects, a Tales from the Crypt series, and then they could do the Demon Knight movie. But maybe we asking for too much with that one. One thing I love about Demon Knight is how over the top it is. And it's like over the top in a good way. And I feel like movies can be over the top in different ways. Obviously, it could be over the top as far as the plot being ridiculous. It can be over the top as far as like the villain, like we get here with Billy Zane. But over the top that I love is like over the top gore, like punching his hand through old boy face, and when he, melts off when Jada throws the blood in his face and all that stuff. I love over the top gore. And some of my favorite over the top movies is probably From Dusk Till Dawn. I feel like that's kind of in the vein of Demon Knight, especially when you get the dramatics of those vampires and they explode and they do all this weird stuff that starts to look crazy. And I think one of them melt, just like in Demon Knight, one of them melts. And even the Italian horror from the 80s, Demons, I really love. AJ, what are some of your favorite over the top horror movies?
Yeah, for like over the top in terms of like gore and stuff, I really like Terrifier 2. I thought the movie was super dope and the special effects was on a different level. And Art the Clown is just a savage. That whole bedroom scene with that girl, I was like, damn, like I ain't never seen something like this. They taking it to a whole new level. Also over the top in terms of like extreme, like Human Centipede 2, that director's cut, that junk is insane to even watch. It's hard to stomach. And then like from the goofy side, we talk about over the top in a goofy way. I really like Snakes on the Plane. I think somebody mentioned it earlier. I forgot who it was, but Snakes on the Plane is so dumb in its idea, but it's a fun, goofy movie to watch.
Now that's one I haven't seen, and I haven't seen Snakes on the Plane since it came out. Maybe I should revisit that. Tyra.
Let's see. One of my favorite over the top movies is Slither. I love Slither. Like you say, you're gonna stand by me for better or worse, right? Or like, I think I ate something bad. Like I love Slither. Slither is over the top in every single way, from the gore to the characters to kind of that blob foreign alien landing aspect. It's everything. I love my era. It's everything I love about my era, and also very modern. And it's one of those comedy horrors that works. Like it's so funny, and it's disgusting. I love it.
Yeah, I love Slither. I forgot about that movie. Donna.
So let's see. Over the top horror movie, I would say one of my favorites is one that's called Dead Alive. It's an Australian horror movie, or no, New Zealand, and it's pretty gross. And it's a horror comedy. I know that I'm not making it sound like one, but it's completely over the top. A woman gets bit by a Sumatran rat monkey, and then everybody in the small town gets infected, and it makes absolutely no sense. The other one is a movie called Deathgasm. If you've not seen Deathgasm, it's extremely over the top. Zombie movie. They end up having to fight people with like adult toys. It's weird and it's just crazy. So those are my two favorites.
I saw Deathgasm one time, and that was enough for me.
I can't believe I've never heard of Deathgasm. I've never heard of that. Oh, it got teenagers in it. That's probably why I ain't know.
There was a movie that came out last year where it was like this dude was living in this apartment and he had a next door neighbor that was making all this noise. It was on Shudder or something like that. And then it became like super over the top. He started seeing like the people that he murdered like reanimate. Dang, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was on Shudder.
That sounds familiar.
It was like crazy over the top, like super over the top.
I think that one was Destroy All Neighbors.
Yeah, that's it. That junk was crazy.
I've never seen that.
I love it. As much as I don't like, I always say I don't really like comedy. I love some like if it's like over the top type of Demon Knight, style. I even slip. I guess kind
of go watch Street Trash. I want you to go watch Street Trash.
Street Trash?
Street Trash.
Now what the hell is that?
Oh, I love Street Trash.
It's over the top is what it is. It is.
Oh God, 1987. Oh, I know this is going to be very unserious.
And it is.
And it's free on Tubi.
Of course it is, because it's Tubi.
But let me tell you, Tubi is the real MVP. Tubi, for real, they are the real MVP. Tubi be having movies. I be like, oh, I just saw, what was my movie I used to love? Trespass. I saw Trespass on Tubi recently. I love Trespass so
Ice
much.
Cube.
Yeah.
And Ice and Bill Paxton, my baby. Yes.
I love Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, to Bill Paxton. But some favorite demons in a horror or favorite demon themed horror movies. Of course, I mentioned Demons from the 80s. I love that movie. Evil Dead 2013. I'll rip your soul out, Daddy. The Dark and the Wicked, Incantation. Some of my favorite demon themed horror movies. Tyra, what are some of your favorite demons in a horror? Demon horror movies.
You know the Cenobites are always going to be first. They're always going to hold my heart for demonic figures. I don't know. I think Pazuzu with The Exorcist is like too spot on because that's like the demon in a horror movie. I don't know. Does Legend count? Because Legend is sticking out to me with Tim Curry as like that dark lord with the red horns and I love him in Demon. I think the Babadook is underrated. Is the Babadook considered? The Babadook is like a demon, right? Is it?
With that annoying little child.
Yeah, yes, with the annoying child. But like we were talking about the demon, I thought that it was really really cool. But yeah, or just the demon in the Krampus. Because I think Krampus is called Krampus. I thought Krampus was really cool too.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
AJ.
I like the demon in because we were talking about like horror comedies. The demon in Drag Me to Hell. I forgot what that demon was called. It starts with the L. I forgot the name of it.
Now that was a curse. Was that a demon?
Yeah, but she got cursed, but it was a demon that was coming to get her.
Okay.
It was I think their name started with the L. I can't remember what it was. The Bagul from Sinister. I love Sinister. Valak. From all the different Conjuring movies. I like the Conjuring franchise. I like Valak. I think Valak's creepy. The demon that was in Annabelle Creation. I don't know what the name of that demon was. That demon was scary as hell.
I didn't watch Annabelle Creation.
Is
Annabelle Creation good?
Yeah, it's the best one. It's the only good one. Trust me.
After Alfred Wood threw herself to the wolf child, I said, I ain't coming back.
No, Creation is good. That was made by David F. Sandberg. Okay. That's a good one.
Creation is on point.
I ain't watched that one. Okay.
And then that red faced demon from Insidious. I thought he was creepy too.
Yeah. Those are some good ones, AJ.
I like the demon. I like the demon supernatural movies. I like those kind of movies.
Me too. See, Tyra be a hater.
I hate him.
I love some like the house is haunted. Gotta call somebody.
No.
Like paranormal activity. I'm a fan of the franchise.
Oh no!
Yeah, I do. I like those movies. I like them.
I'm not one for found footage. I can't with the found. Yeah, I can't. It's But we lost Kay. Kay was having connection issues with her microphone. But this was our KillerCon covering all things related to Demon Night. I need Demon Night to get on more people's radar because it literally bothers my soul when I go to, the whites and they be ranking the final girls and nobody ever mentions Geraldine and it literally like bothers my soul. Jada, why you don't mention Geraldine? Now, Jada, I'm riding for you.
For the same reason, who is that? Jennifer Aniston, she would die before if anybody mentions Leprechaun in her vicinity. She's running the other way. They don't want to. Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, and then I think that third Texas Chainsaw. They don't want to be attached to these films. It's sad.
Yeah.
But Demon Night is actually good, and she should take her rightful spot, okay, as a Black final girl.
I agree.
Like, come on, Jada, you got the power. Call up Ernest Dickerson. Call up the right studio. Give us don't just give us some crappy sequel. Give us the sequel that the fans deserve of Demon Night 2, okay? Look, I'll be on board. Hire me, okay? I'm going to tell y'all what moves to make, to make sure y'all do this ish right. But thank you guys so much for being here with us for another episode of KillerCon. And right now, I will give everyone the floor so you can tell the people where they can find you, what you are working on, what you have coming up next. AJ, why don't you take it away and let us know what you and your lovely wife will be doing?
All right, yeah. So again, my name AJ. I'm with In Love with Horror. Normally, my wife was sitting in the pink chair over here, but she out of town. But we do content across, all the platforms. We mainly do YouTube. You can search for In Love with Horror over on YouTube. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. But I just dropped a review today, actually, on Oddity. So that was the latest horror film that just dropped in theaters from Shudder and IFC Films from Damian McCarthy. I thought it was a dope film, so check out my review on that. And then tomorrow, we always do on Sundays our horror news live discussion. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, and that's at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, over on YouTube. In Love with Horror. Come join us to talk about all the horror news that happened this week. But that's it for In Love with Horror.
And make sure y'all check them out. I will never forget Christy commenting on my YouTube page, and I was like, wait, they got a channel? Like, I didn't even know. Not only do they have a channel, but they make great content. Tyra, why don't you let the people know, now that you are back, what you have in store for everyone, where they can find you at, what's going on Struggle Reviews TV?
Struggling. I'm struggling. That's what's happening. I'm struggling. Tomorrow, do not miss myself, Nikki, and two other beautiful ladies discussing Divorce in the Black Child. Don't miss that. If you missed that, something is wrong. Please be there for us discussing Divorce in the Black. Tuesday, we will also be discussing season 1, episode 1 of Interview with the Vampire, taking it back because you guys loved our recaps of season 2 so much. And Wednesday, we will be discussing Lady in the Lake, the new series that came out on Apple TV. So go and check that out. And just be on the lookout for my own separate movie reviews. We just had Welcome to the Dollhouse purchased. Training Day was just purchased. And of course, there's Ray, Book of Eli, Strictly Business. 5 movies I need you guys to really be looking out for, to be on your radar. So be sure to support me in all things that I do in my struggle. Back to you, Nikki.
Okay, back to you. Yes, and Kay isn't here because she was having issues, but you guys can check her out. The Horror and Hooch podcast, the Fifth Wall YouTube channel. She will also be doing The Boys. And wait, no, y'all just finished The Boys. Vampire, yeah. Not Vampire in Brooklyn.
Interview with the Vampire.
She will be doing Interview with the Vampire with Struggle Reviews TV. And I also have some upcoming content for you guys. I will be doing my worst movies of 2024 so far, because y'all know this has been a lackluster year for movies, for me at least. And I will be going into the worst ones. Like Tyra said, I will be live with her tomorrow. Y'all, why the hell am I even talking about this movie? Y'all make sure y'all over there, because we finna just rip this movie up, and I haven't watched it yet. I'm literally waiting for the last moment, because it's gonna be mess and it's gonna be ridiculous, and I need all the ridiculousness fresh on my mind. But I'm also doing my very first watch along for members only on the $2.99 tier for members. The new Bad Boys is coming to streaming on July 23rd. It will be my first time watching, so come and watch along with me. But thank you guys so much for being here and supporting KillerCon. I'm so excited for this series. And if you are loving the series, enjoying it, make sure you show some support so we know that you like it, and we can, keep going and bringing you guys more horror talk. Okay. But if the panel will stick around backstage, everyone else, we will see you in the
Nikki.
What?
You gonna let Donna tell the people where to come from?
Oh, Donna, girl, look. I did a lot of acid when I was like 17, and my brain cells have not fully recovered. Like, I'm so serious. And also, I think, my mama was in Germany when I was born, and they was doing some kind of experiments on Black folks. Like, I just ain't never had a chance. Okay, Donna, the dead, please, baby, tell the people where they can find you, what you have going on. Let the folks know. Okay, y'all. They was giving me Similac when I was younger, and y'all know that Similac was no good. Donna.
So it's okay. I've been lagging this whole night, so I just thought, well, maybe it's because I'm lagging. But I have my own podcast, Donna the Dead. just come and listen. It's a weekly podcast where I just talk about horror and sometimes cult movies or whatever is in my brain at the time. So I'm on Instagram, I guess Twitter. I don't know how long I'm going to be there. But yeah, just my podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Don't give your baby Similac. And Kay is back with us. Kay, why don't you go ahead and tell the people where they can find you, what you have working on, and everything that is going on with the Fifth Wall.
Hey, everybody, nerds, blurs, horror fans, come and hit that subscribe button. Old school throwback horror, new releases. I just had a review for Quiet Place Day 1. What else is recently dropped? Probably like The Watchers, Tarot. I did a movies list for shark movies for the summer, Interview with the Vampire, House of Dragon Lives on Monday. What else? The Boys is there. So horror stuff, superhero stuff. Come on and hit that subscribe button. And yes, we will be ripping apart this Tyler Perry movie on tomorrow, because how dare him call that a thriller? I was not thrilled.
Thank you, Kay. So let's try this one more time, okay? Thank you guys so much for showing up and for supporting, and we will see you in the next one for real this time.
Goodbye.